Welcome, Internet, to the Play Some Video Games podcast. It's your boy, Dad Ninja Dev, joined, as always, by Donnie, Eat the Hype Reese, and Delvin, them white people be tripping over their cocks.
Facts.
Is this the first show that all three of us have been on in the new year? Or am I tripping?
Probably. I don't know. Well, probably. I lost count.
I feel like I was off. Delvin missed a week, I think. Yeah, I don't know, whatever. Well, hell, we're all here, and it has been a week.
Dev had COVID-16.
I did. I was dying.
He didn't get 19. He was like 3 off. He was close, though.
Yeah.
He was close.
I'm still dying. I still have a cough. My wife is sick. Both the kids are starting to cough. I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yep. Same shit I had.
Not feel like shit anymore. I'm tired.
Sound like an old ass muffler. Yeah. I got it. Yeah. Yep. See? I had it.
Ugh, it's the fucking worst. Ugh. Yeah, so I've played no video games. I've done nothing. I've watched a lot of TV.
Par for the course of this show.
Yeah. I watched Squid Game season 2. That's what it was. I watched that in Korean.
Oh.
Subtitles.
I tried to watch it in Korean, like, fuck that. This is not happening. Give me back the English.
No. I watched it in Korean. It was cool. I expected more from that season. I was expecting things to happen, but it basically leaves like a cliffhanger. So now I gotta wait for season 3. I'm like, sons of bitches.
I'm not through with it yet, but I'm like, oh, this is just the same goddamn show. Like it's the same storyline so far.
Yeah. So season 3, here we come. I also watched another show on Netflix called The Dragon Prince. It's an animated show. It's got 7 seasons. That's how much TV I watched. I was able to watch all 7 seasons plus Squid Games, and another show called Pantheon that has 2 seasons. So I watched nothing but TV, and then also watched like the first season of Batman the Animated Series.
Great show. Did you watch any Supernatural? Let's just turn it to PSXP.
Oh my! Absolutely not. No.
Did you watch any Arrow?
The Squid Games was the only thing that was live action that I watched. Everything else is cartoons. I don't want to watch regular live action. Fuck that. I'm into cartoons. Damn it.
Yeah.
Pantheon is a great show for anybody who likes sci-fi, AI type stuff. Fucking awesome show. The second season you'll have to find on YouTube because it got canceled before it released, so it doesn't exist anywhere. You think in this digital age, everything can be accessible, but absolutely the fuck not. Dragon Prince, also a great show, especially if you have kids who are kind of into like fantasy. It's a really, really cool fantasy anime. Humans are fucking despicable because we are, and that's kind of the basis of the show. Humans fuck up everything.
Correct.
And the world goes to shit. And now you've got this one good human along with an elf. We're like, we can right this ship. We're gonna fix it.
So, and that's the unbelievable part. There's one good human now. None of them.
Yeah.
They're all terrible.
And there was 2 good humans. 2 good humans. One of them was mixed. A lot of black people in this show. So you got a lot of black people, a lot of mixed race people. So like the king is a mixed race kid. He's black and white.
Bunch of DEIs, huh?
He's like the best DEIs. Absolutely. This show, people look, MAGA would hate this fucking show. Yeah. Boy, I tell you, it is woke.
They're gonna come get it.
It's
over. Come get us.
You about to be executive order number 101.
Feel free to come get it. The show ended, so you know
they're gonna come get us. We are DEI.
We are. Yeah.
Look at this show. What the fuck is this? Whiten this shit up.
Oh man. But yeah, if you like a good animated series that's family friendly, that deals with a lot of like real type shit, Dragon Prince is really, really good.
Yeah, Donnie's
I'm not talking to Donnie,
but not
I'm talking
family,
to
not family friendly anime.
Yeah, you want titties and shit. I'm not watching that.
Goddamn right.
Right.
I need a storyline. All right.
So do I.
Storyline titties.
So do I. I need a story too.
Yeah.
That's the key.
I'll go find titties in real life. I don't want to watch anime titties.
Those are good too. Both are great.
Yeah, why?
Titties.
Why are we trying to divide lines? Why are we trying
Yeah.
to
I'm dividing the lines.
why are we trying
play
to
with some real titties? I don't want to watch
segregate?
titties.
Why the hell are we trying to segregate titties?
Yeah.
What
Titties are titties.
what are you talking about, Dev? I'm all about
Yeah.
unity. Okay.
I'm trying to unify all the titties.
100%.
Hey, John 32, fuck you. Okay, don't tell me about that bullshit ass game.
What about Avatar titties, Delvin? You want some Avatar titties? Is that okay? Would that work for you?
I think Avatar would work absolutely better as a porn than a movie. A video game, or whatever the fuck that was they made.
Okay.
No, terrible.
Yeah. Well, that's really all I've had. That's all I got. I've done nothing else. I've just been dying and watching television. That is it. Well, Donnie Yons, Delvin, what have you been up to in the wonderful, wonderful, fucked up state that is Florida?
I haven't really played much video games this week. I've been busy with shit, but I did see the movie Wicked.
It's a great movie.
That movie is fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
I was shocked how good that movie is.
Have you seen the play?
Never seen the play.
Oh, the play
Didn't know anything about the play.
There's always that person. Dev is the fucking person.
Oh,
Have you read the book?
I mean, yeah.
Have you seen the play?
The movie is for people like me.
I'm the culture one, apparently. I don't fucking know. I read and I go to the stage plays.
Did you catch the CDI games? Oh, well, then I guess you're not really a fan. You can't really
see. I didn't say that. That. I was just asking if he had seen the play to compare. That's it. That's it. That's all I was asking.
Dev, it's always there. With you, it's always there.
That's not what I was doing. I was just curious if he had seen the play. That's all.
It's your aura.
Yes.
Okay.
Like Rick James. Have you seen the play? Did you read the novels? Like you say you like Destiny, but like, do you?
I mean, look.
Speaking of Rick James, I got a funny video I got to send y'all later on. I can't talk about it on the podcast.
Rick James, bitch.
He does this all the time.
He was on Joe.
Speaking of something, I've got
confidential
information.
He was on Joe Brown.
Judge Joe Brown?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I guess this is before he died. He was in a lawsuit with one of his friends.
Mm-hmm.
And it is very Rick James, to say the least. I can't discuss what he said in this lawsuit.
Rick James is Rick James.
Yeah. It's like,
this isn't exactly a family-friendly podcast. I don't know why you couldn't discuss it.
Yeah, it's
the milk has gone stale.
Milk's gone bad.
I will email, I will text, I will send it to you. And you're like, oh, this is probably why he didn't want to.
I remember grinding my feet in Eddie Murphy's couch.
Yeah.
Fuck your couch. No, fuck your
couch. Why'd you do that? You can afford to buy another one.
Rich motherfucker.
What about my legs, Charlie Murphy?
What about my legs, Charlie Murphy?
Seeing him on Joe Brown. People, matter of fact, fuck it. I'll do this. Decide for yourself. People who listen to the show.
Iconic television.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Look up Rick James on Judge Joe Brown. There you go.
I'm not going to do that.
Not you. You're on the show. Don't look it up now. That would be rude. Ginger beer. Cock
and bull.
Okay.
I was waiting for Delvin to catch on.
I'm not drinking anything with the words cock on it. Tell you that right now. That is a no-go for me. Do you want some of this cock and bull? Absolutely not. You don't want a little cock in your mouth? Nope. Not at all.
Oh boy.
So let me tell you what happened this week, man. Because my girl friend came over this week. That's how we ended up watching Wicked.
Delvin's a little homophobic.
No, not at all.
He's drawn the line at ginger beer. Like, absolutely not. I'm just saying a little.
Oh,
we all have our line. Apparently, your line is that soft drink.
Yeah, pretty much. That's the line. But yeah, so my girlfriend comes over. Of course, she's bougie as shit. Let's go to this fancy restaurant.
Unless she's eating steak.
Oh yeah, there's that part. But she wants to go to this restaurant. Let's go to this place that nobody's heard of before, right?
A Waffle House or something.
That's where I wish we would went. I would have begged to go to Waffle House. So she finds this place on Google. It's like called like the Boatyard or some shit like that, right? I'm like, okay, what is this place? This is this cool spot. Let's go check it out. So we pull up there. And it's an actual like warehouse. I'm like, and there's no cars in front.
Just hearing you say that, I was going to ask you if it's in Fort Lauderdale, but then I just Googled it, and it is. It's like,
Yes,
of
it
course
is.
it's in Fort Lauderdale.
Yes, in Fort, yes.
He was
Yes,
like, it's called the
in,
Boatyard. I was like, I bet that's in Fort Lauderdale. 100%.
yes, it is in Fort Lauderdale. So we
It
pull up
is
there. I'm
what
like,
you think it is.
exactly. So we pull up there, right? I'm like, there's no one here. I'm like, she's like, I think you have to go around the back. So we go around the back, and I swear, this is like, I'm thinking to myself, this is how I'm gonna die. I'm gonna pull up to this place, to this goddamn
Not in Fort Lauderdale.
shit.
Not in Fort Lauderdale.
Yes,
No.
yes. That is how I would die.
Bunch of
In
dumb
Fort-
old people.
Oh no, some young people there too. So I pull up there, right? It's like the park is in the back and stuff like that, and it's just this dock with this giant tiki hut that you go on there, you can eat under. And the docks near the river and stuff like that. But as soon as I put up there, I'm like, my Negro sense is tingling. I'm like, there are no black people here. And we are like,
Lauderdale.
exactly.
Right.
And we're
Right.
and we're in this secluded area. And I'm like, this doesn't feel good at all. She's like, oh, we gotta eat here. I'm like, it's getting ready to rain anyway. Who gives a fuck? Like why do you want to eat in this place? I'm like, no, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. I'm like, all right,
Yo,
fuck it.
it's
Let's
like, I
go.
got a place. We get a bucket of rice.
Yeah,
Mhm.
get a bucket
chicken
of rice.
wings.
Girl, you can get a bucket of rice and some dick. What more can you ask for?
Wow.
Might
Wow.
might put the dick in the bucket of rice.
There's Delvin's
It's
ginger
my dick
beer
in a
line.
box.
So we sit down, right? By the whatever called the lake or whatever, some shit like that. And the waitress comes up and she looks like somebody straight out of like Hee Haw. like she has on the crop top shirt and the Daisy Dukes, but it's like the muffin top thing going on and
Ugh.
Hey, don't hate.
and in the way she
I like
damn loud.
that. I like it. Chuck Berry. I'm here for it.
So when I'm ordering, right? When we're ordering the food, she's standing by the table, but she's also kind of tall. So I'm looking at her stomach directly while I'm trying to place my order. Like right in my face. I'm like, oh boy, this is so awkward.
You normally pay extra for that kind of experience.
That is true. That is true.
Just saying.
So we order the food and stuff like that. Food was actually pretty good. Food was good. I'll give it to the place. So as we're eating, this old man has to be in his 70s. Comes up to our table. Dev, based off what I tell you, you can just guess this guy's race.
Yeah.
And he just starts talking. And the first thing he says is, how does a pretty girl like you end up with a guy like this?
Oh my God.
And I'm like, oh, here we fucking go.
Today, huh? This is what we're doing today. Okay. All right.
Yeah. And he's old. He's like older than me by a lot. So I'm like, he's near death. I can't be too mean. And plus, if I like get mad and beat him up, they would
He
definitely
might
jump
have
me.
a heart attack and die.
Yeah, I would definitely
You
get
trying to
stabbed
throw
in.
hands because the man had like an icebreaker of a joke?
Oh, no. There's more down there.
Damn.
This motherfucker sat there for 20 minutes
Absolutely not.
talking to us. He like casually talking to us, casually flirt with my girl. Like, over and over again.
Oh man, I'm gonna punch you in your hip.
And it was so like blatant. It almost was funny. So I'm like, I can't believe this is happening right now. And then here goes the fun part. Do you want to hear some jokes? Like,
Oh
we're
my
like,
God.
I'm like,
It's entertainment.
oh no. Like, sure. So he just sits there and starts telling all these dad jokes.
Nice.
Just over and over again. And then it gets to the best part. Do you want to hear a racist joke?
I was waiting. I was wondering how long it was going to take before we got there.
At least he was honest with you. At least he didn't surprise you with it.
He did.
That's what he wanted to start with. He had to build up to that. He wanted to come over immediately with the racist shit.
He gave you the option of declining.
Yes. And my girl was like, nope. I'm
cordial.
Like,
he was like,
I'm like,
do you want to hear it?
I'm like, absolutely, sir.
See, yeah, this is
since she wanted to have this conversation, we are going there. We want the whole experience. So he tells this joke. It wasn't too bad because he was like, it's not gonna be too bad. I promise you, it wasn't too bad of a joke. In terms of racist jokes, it wasn't offensive. I will say that. And then he tells the joke, and then walks away. Like he did like a whole set, like fucking Jerry Seinfeld, and just left. And then I was like, it's time for us to get the fuck up out of here. Waitress!
This man sat there for 20 minutes so he could tell a racist joke.
Yeah, 20 minutes. He was just there, going through his set. It's like he was like, hey, these people listen to my whole comedy set, and we did.
And now he can say, "I've got a black friend."
Yeah, he can. He was telling us about the band that's there. He was telling us about all the people who come there and stuff like that. Like, he follows this band. He says, I live in Pompano and I come down here every week because the band is usually up there, and then they come down here on the Saturdays. Like, why? Well, apparently this is the thing. Like, he's following them motherfuckers like they the Bee Gees.
What's the band?
It's just some random house band. I guess the band, how they have like little bands to play at like restaurants and stuff like that.
Oh, that's wild. You'd be a groupie of a damn.
Yeah, like a house show band.
A gig band?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and he was just there to see the band. He said, they're great. They were playing some white jam. They're playing some white rock. I'm like, all right, this is cool.
So when I good old yacht rock, huh?
That's Dev shit.
Johnny
Dev
hates.
Like,
oh yeah, I'm here for yacht rock.
Here for it. Yeah,
I'm here for fucking yacht rock. Let's go.
They're playing that Living on the Edge and shit like that.
Yeah.
They was getting in their bag. I'm like, all right.
Fucking Michael McDonald. Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, let's give me that Michael McDonald. Let's fucking go all day.
That's what they was playing.
She come from somewhere back in a long ago. Let's go. Let's get it.
Boy.
Yacht rock, baby.
Old.
Yes. Yes, I am. I'm okay with that.
Black people like Michael McDonald.
We love Michael McDowell.
I'm aware.
He is one of us.
That's the thing.
Because so do white people. Black people act like they're like, we like this. So does everybody else too.
But it's only
the
cool
correct
when
answer
we like
is
it.
Yeah. Also, there are
people
certain
like
white
Michael McDonald. That's
us liking it makes it cool.
Okay.
Yeah. There are certain white people. We don't like all y'all white singers.
Well, of course.
Some of y'all suck.
Again, I think that goes around. I think that goes around for everybody. If we're doing the race wars, that's everybody could say the same thing.
You're like, nah, we don't want them. We will straight up be like, turn that shit off.
Yeah. Don't bring that shit back around here.
Yeah. But you play some Phil Collins, some Michael McDonald, like, yo.
Yeah, Phil Collins, let's go.
Yeah, Phil Collins is awesome.
Let's
go.
Not
yacht rock, though. That's a whole different.
It's not yacht rock.
Yeah, that's not yacht rock. That's not what we're talking about.
Phil Collins be talking about killing motherfuckers.
It'd be weird if you were hanging out in Fort Lauderdale listening to Phil Collins.
Phil Collins belongs in Miami. Phil Collins belongs in Miami. Okay,
I would prefer
that's the Miami Vice soundtrack.
If I was in a boatyard there playing Air in the Night, like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna die.
That's Miami Vice.
Yes. I'm here for it, boy. I walk in a boatyard. That song's playing. Like, oh yeah, boy, this my time.
That was like, I'm home.
The boatyard.
I'm home. Let's go.
Boatyard. That's not what the boatyard is. The boatyard is, your preppy khaki, captain shirt. It's yacht rock. It's boat life. That's not.
Again, he's thinking about the boatyard in Miami.
Yes,
he's thinking about the docks in Miami where the drugs are at. The Miami Vice soundtrack.
Yes,
basically Vice City.
Yes, if I hear in the air tonight, I know somebody dying. Hopefully it's not me. Hopefully is not me. Whitest rock band ever.
I have one.
Okay.
Do you guys have one, or do you want me to go?
You
Bruce
go. I
Springsteen.
mean, look.
Oh, it's 100% the Eagles.
Well, that's a good one.
And
I
I
like
like
the
Eagles,
Eagles.
though.
I don't
like
hate the
Eagles.
Eagles. They're
The
great.
Eagles are
Like
cool.
they're talented. But my in-laws and my wife, they fucking love the Eagles. Like they're the greatest rock band that's ever walked the face of this planet. And I'm like, they're just an amplifier away from being a country band for one. Y'all just like men that sing in harmony. Like it's
That
not
is true.
rock at all.
Yeah,
Like what
that's
they're
what
doing.
we enjoy. Yeah,
Like
Yes.
they got,
that's what
it's
makes
like,
it good.
they got Hotel Confidence. It's not bad, but I really think, I mean this in the right way. You can be overrated and still be good, right? So this
That's
is
true.
I'm not throwing a stone, but I have always thought the Eagles are overrated.
That's fine.
Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, when I think
That's a
about
good
like
one.
whitest rock bands ever, it's like Bruce Springsteen, Whitesnake, all of those like hair
Yeah.
metal
White
bands.
Snake.
Whenever I couldn't tell you what they sing, but that's what goes through my mind. Just white
Okay.
dudes with long
the
What
hair.
they sing?
That's
Here
the
I
vibe.
go again on my own.
Oh.
When you think white band, you think specifically glam rock.
That's
like,
what came to mind.
Like a mini trend from like 1984 to
That's
9.
what comes to mind.
Like a 5-year period of music.
I was right. That is a song they sing.
Yeah.
Huh. I know that because I don't know if y'all remember.
It's funny you
this.
think. Well, I want to ask, just because I want to. When you say Whitesnake, do you think Bon Jovi? Like, is
Do I
the
think
picture in your head, is it Bon Jovi, or do you know?
Well, I couldn't
Whitesnake?
tell you what the fuck Bon
See?
Jovi looks like.
Like, I
so
kind of
no.
wonder if I showed him a picture of Bon Jovi, he's like, "That's Whitesnake."
No, I couldn't tell you what Whitesnake
You
looks
know,
like. I have no idea.
Have you seen the movie Role Models?
Hell no.
Oh man, there's a really funny part in that movie where okay, here's the gist of the movie. These guys, Paul Rudd and the guy from American Pie, they get fucked up and they have to go like serve community service at like this little like little brother and me like kind of community service thing, and they give this dude like this foul-mouthed black kid, and like that's his little brother that he has to be with.
I remember
And,
that movie.
he sits down and the black kid just keeps fucking calling him Ben Affleck. He's like, shut the fuck up, Reindeer Games. And he's like, I am not Ben Affleck.
Yes, okay, I have.
And he
seen
goes, you're white, you're Ben Affleck. Like
Yeah.
in my head, when Dev goes White Snake,
works.
like I think he means Bon Jovi.
When I say Whitesnake, I just mean every group from
I know,
that era.
I
that
know,
looks
but
like
I
that.
like I was
It's
just
all
like
the same
it's
person.
just I don't just call it intuition, and just I've talked to you for so long. I'm like, I think he means Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
Because they're more recognizable. Most people wouldn't know what Whitesnake looks like.
I
no
know
idea
White
what it looks
Snake
like.
because back in my
Oh,
day,
Snurts, good answer. That's a better answer than both of you.
that is a great answer.
The Beach Boys
But
are definitely
Beach Boys
some
are good.
white ass shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
They are.
Buffett.
They are, but
Buffett.
I feel like they just basically stole black music and was like, here you go.
But that's a lot of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I think of the Beach Boys, I think of Full
You're
House.
right. You're right. A lot of music, especially in the rock and roll genre, can always be attributed to black artists.
Yeah.
I do push back at some point when we talk about stealing, because music is always influencing others. Everything
true.
has been influenced by another thing that came before it, like literally to the dawn of monks. Now, that isn't to excuse stuff. Some people literally stole music. Like
Oh,
they
yeah.
literally stole
Elvis.
riffs, and to fuck with
Mhm.
those people. Right? Like,
Mhm.
so fuck those guys. So I'm definitely not dismissing them. But we do this all the time. It's like we have we talk about culture appropriation both ways, right?
Yes.
And it's like, I think it feels like an American thing. I'd love to talk to people around the world and see if that's a thing, because
Oh, it
that's what
definitely is.
like that's what happens when cultures mix, right? They influence each other, they create new things, right? That's how we get to yacht rock. That's how we get to glam rock. That's how we get to pop and alternative and hip hop and new metal and new hip hop, and like that's how all that shit grows.
Yeah.
So I think
Hip hop. You can
It's
make a
like-
correlation between hip hop and disco.
it's a toxic
Mhm.
it's just like a toxic void people spiral down trying to attribute like those that can versus those that can't.
It's very true. But I listen to most of that stuff. Because I love music.
Like what stuff? What do you mean?
Music in general.
I mean, I think
Like-
doesn't everybody like, have you ever met anybody that's like, I hate music? Generally, everybody loves music.
Well, they like only a certain type of music.
I am more that way. I listen
Yeah,
to a lot of things, but generally, my music taste is just much older. I like older music, and it's not like a hipster thing. It's just what I like. Right? It just always kind of has been that way. But it's not just rock. Like I love the Temptations. I love the Spinners. I love Sam Cooke, right? And I love Led Zeppelin, and I love Meatloaf, and I love Whitesnake and Motley Crue and Iron Maiden. So I kind of like a lot of it. But I like when it comes to hip hop, I like the Roots and like generally older stuff. Oh, I wanted to ask you guys. I came across this TikTok of this music video. It was this girl rapper, and I was digging the song. I was like, I gotta listen to this album. Let me see if I can find it. One of you guys, like, I've never heard of this person. I don't know if it's
okay.
It seemed like it was trending that day, so it feels like a new hip artist. I was like, I feel like I'm gonna say it, and y'all are gonna be like, that bitch is old news. We were listening to her like 8 years ago or something.
You might be talking about Smiley Dochies.
This is
if it's new, if it's past the 90s, like mid 2000s, I have no fucking clue. I stopped listening to hip hop early mid 2000s. Like I can't stand none of the shit.
Watch Donnie pulls up like Meg the Stallion.
I couldn't tell you a single one of her songs. I don't know any of Meg the Stallion's
Her flow sounded like old. It sounded like early 90s hip hop. Maybe.
Oh, so you mean she could actually rap? You could understand words that were coming out of her mouth.
Okay.
I don't like more of the trap style and like the stop and stutter stop, and it's not my thing. I like more of the.
I can't stand that.
I would call it poppier rap, but like that wasn't what it was at the time.
Meg the Stallion can actually rap.
I think that's what it is now.
Yeah, you know Meg the Stallion. She can actually rap.
I'll have to see if I can find this. Okay, here it is.
That's Nicki Minaj.
No, it's not.
It's that TikTok that he sent us.
Is it?
He sent that
maybe
to
I did
us.
send it to you.
You sent it to us. I have no idea who the hell that is.
I don't know who that is either. But I was like, I gotta find this out and listen. Maybe it's just one song. I get that often. I'll hear a song and I'm like, that's cool. Let me listen. And then I hate the album, but I wanted to give it a listen. It's
I need to hear that again because it sounds like that Nicki Minaj song.
I'll look it up.
I could be wrong.
This is from NSS Magazine. It doesn't have a. Let me look up in the comments or something.
Yeah, I mean it could be. It sounds like a Nicki Minaj flow.
Denial,
but...
I don't know, man. It says hashtag Kendrick Lamar. Hashtag music talks. This is why I can't find shit.
It said hashtag Kendrick Lamar.
All right, hang on. So
it might be
the comments
then.
section. Smoke says Kendrick plus Tyler plus Doechii. DOE.
Yeah, Doechii. That's what I figured it was. What'd you say, Kendrick Lamar? That's Doechii.
Masterpiece. Is that
yeah, that's Doechii. Yes, it's Kendrick Lamar, Doechii, and Tyler the Creator. I know exactly what I'm talking about now.
So
Doechie's a new artist.
I got to give it a listen. I like it.
She's really good.
Cool.
She's signed to Kendrick Lamar.
So, Danny, what you been up to?
I mean, I was saying, I interrupted you. You were saying like you like music, and you were about to tell us what different style you like, and I
I was saying that just growing up, not everybody. Some people just like certain genres of music, and I just adapted to all of them because I grew up listening to a lot of R&B, a lot of soul, a lot of blues and stuff like that, like Stevie Wonder, songs of Key of Life and things like that. But then also grew up listening to a lot of 80s music like Madonna, Michael Jackson, Prince, Boy George, The Cars.
How bad was Madonna in the 90s?
Bad?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. You go from like her 80s catalog to her 90s catalog. It's like, what happened?
Her 80s catalog is fucking fantastic.
It's really great.
It's like
you get to her 90s. So she's got some hits in the 90s. Don't get me
90s
wrong.
is good, but there's nowhere near
she also
that.
has like some hits that are like, I think that like you listen to them back now and you're like, oh, this is bad. Like you almost forget. You're like, oh, this was a hit. This sucked.
People forget like when Madonna was hot, they were comparing her to like Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I don't forget because I just got here. So
yeah, they were
I wasn't there, dude.
Yes, I was there. They were comparing her to Michael Jackson. She was that good at one point in time.
Yeah, she was a star. Yeah, I mean, she was definitely a prominent figure. I love the Cars. So I'm
Cars great.
There. I love the Cars. I love the Doors.
It's
generally my wheelhouse is like 70s, 80s music. And then definitely, I mean, but like I listened to all of I definitely was a kid of the 90s, right? So I listened to like all the new metal bands and all that trend. And even like the 2000 stuff, but it's mostly heavy rock lean, blues, like generally that kind of stuff, soul. I like
Yeah.
Tribe. It's more of like I think it honestly it's more of just like a rhythm section. I kind of like that kind of that rhythm vibe, that
Yeah.
blues,
Hip hop.
souls, like that bass, and then whatever branches out from there. Like I'm generally kind of into.
Hip hop helped me find a lot of songs because when I was younger, a lot of sampling was done in the 90s.
Sure.
Well, 80s too. I would find a song. I would listen to a song like, oh, that sample's dope. Then I would find a sample.
You find the sample,
and then I would make beats off of the sample. That's what I used to do when I was younger. Like I would make.
No, you didn't. Stop lying. You didn't make shit.
I would loop the beat off the sample and use Acid Studio Pro to loop the beat and kind of make my own beat with it.
Lies. It's not real. Until there are some tapes produced, I don't believe it.
My wife, was around that 99 early aughts time. She really liked all these like Justin Timberlake pop songs and like I think like an Aaliyah song and several other people's songs. And I started like over the years we're driving around going on dates and stuff. I was like, you know what? I was like, really just like Timberland. Like you keep saying you like him, like he's just these are his songs. These other people are performing. Like I think you're just a fan of him. Like we should just get you all of his production.
Yeah, that makes
it's
sense.
Like a through line for all of her stuff. She likes that. I call it mom bounce just because she kind of bounces to it. Yeah, I don't know what else she's got. Like she loves Nelly.
Timberland and Magoo.
Yeah, Timberland and Magoo. Oh,
does she still love Nelly?
She still does.
Fuck Nelly.
I don't think she knows any better.
Yeah.
We like Nelly Furtado around here. The hell with that other damn.
Yeah, she loves
Kick Rocks.
Yeah.
Like Missy.
Look,
had that album.
I know Nelly, you made Tip Drill, but bro, you pushing your luck with me. You are pushing your luck. It's only so much shit I can forgive, bro.
I need Ashanti to go ahead and leave him at this point.
I know Delvin saw the video for Tip Drill and was like, "This is what I want to be."
This is the greatest music video of all time.
You know it. He saw it. And he was like, "This is my destiny."
Yeah, I saw that video like this is the greatest music video of all time.
Thus, Gold Coin was born.
Yeah, this can never be replicated or topped.
I think did he sampled Led Zeppelin back in the day?
Oh, he definitely did.
Yeah.
Was it for that dumbass Godzilla song?
I don't know. That
I think it was
beyond me. I didn't do like my cousins. In the neighborhood we grew up in Cleveland, and even Columbus, like rap was like the predominant music choice. So I was always kind of like an outcast. I would say outcast, but just an outlier. People would tease you for your music.
You could have said outcast. You'll still play Calistic.
Because I didn't listen to, I didn't listen to popular music. Like I said, I like probably 96, 98. Like it probably had like my own music at that time. Like I could carry it around like a cassette player or something. Like I miss grunge and all that. I was listening to old shit.
Were you a music snob?
My cousins and my friend. No, I don't think I've ever considered myself a snob. But like my cousins and friends and stuff, the kids on the school bus, kids in the neighborhood, it was just predominantly rap all the time, all rap, everything.
Plus Eminem.
He grew up black,
so nobody was like even ever wanted to listen to anything I was listening to.
Yeah. No Nirvana?
I mean, I love Nirvana. I do. It's a deep love, but I don't think I really got into Nirvana until middle school, so maybe like 2001.
I found Nirvana because of Diamond Dallas Page.
Oh yeah, yeah. Cell 55.
Yeah, like that song kind of slaps. Like, that's a real song, Delvin. Like,
I think it's something I've said a lot. Definitely not to everybody. Don't project on anybody, but like Delvin's age group is like Nirvana range. Yes. And I feel like Nirvana is so influential and so powerful that I think like anybody that was around in the 90s tries to claim Nirvana. And it's like, come on, like, were you in high school in like 91 or were you like 4? Because if you were 4, then you don't get to claim Nirvana,
my wife loves Nirvana.
Oh, I mean, I generally would like to say who doesn't, but my wife kind of doesn't.
I can't tell you that I do. I mean,
my wife
they exist.
My wife is so solely focused on singers because she's a singer. Like to her, and it's so funny because this is how singers are. But like to singers, they don't care about the band. It does, like the band is anybody can play drums, and anybody like they don't really associate it that they're like, who cares? It's all about the voice. So my wife does not like nasally voice, raspy voices. She doesn't like anybody that like strains their voice. Like she likes talented, in key, in tone, voices. So she's never like my love for Manson or Cobain or Smashing Pumpkins or Green Day. Like she does like some songs, but it's never been her thing.
Yeah. Starship's coming down here soon. I guess Jefferson Starship.
Oh, okay.
They don't call him Jefferson Starship anymore. They just call him Starship.
They just call him Starship.
Yeah, I guess Jefferson's gone.
Oh, there's like a I don't know if it's I don't know if it's an everything, but there's a chain of like sex toy stores in Georgia called Starship.
Oh, not that one.
And they have like commercials and vans and shit. So when you're like, Starship's coming down, I'm like, you throwing a party or something? Like, what's going on?
No,
you about to get the baby oil out? Like, what? Where did this out of left field shit come from?
I think the band formerly known as Jefferson Starship is now coming down. They're called now Starship, I guess. Like I said, Jefferson probably left. Cool. Like, fuck this shit. You motherfuckers are old. And they're performing at like the casino down here. I'm like, I might go to that.
Of course they are. Of course you would. You're out here seeing 48-year-old boys to men and shit. Like, of course you are. I mean, I can't say that I'm against it.
The Hollywood Bowl, so
I can't say that I'm against it. I'm going to see, the Hives, and I want to go see the Smashing Pumpkins. I'm doing the same shit you're doing. It's just a different genre. I'm just on a different radio station.
Yeah. Chris Tucker's coming down here too late on this year, and I'm like, I might go see that too.
Bentley.
I might just do that,
motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm going to a concert in June. It's got the Roots, Lil Kim, Method Man, and Redman,
Little
Bone Thugs, DJ Quick, Raekwon, Havoc from Mobb Deep, and the Goody Mob.
See,
your concert sounds way better.
I got into rap a little bit like around like that new metal time. So like 98, 99, and like Lil Kim was like a thing. And Buster was
DMX.
A thing. DMX was a thing. Master P was a thing.
Oh.
Like, I know more about that little.
I mean, Bone Thugs would make a whole lot of sense because they're from Cleveland.
I mean, I had 3 Bone Thugs albums.
Yeah,
you used to buy those out of the back of a car.
Yeah,
before
that's
they
how
were popular. Yeah,
the legendary Silk the Shocker.
I know about Silk the Shocker.
I cannot stand Silk. I cannot. I hate.
We've done this.
All of them.
No, we've done this in the Discord. You guys know, like we did the No Limit thing one day.
Yeah,
I cannot stand.
Like when Jack started getting into rap, and I was like, "Oh, I know some rap," and they were like, "What?" Because I never really listened to it. And I started playing the rap music that like I knew. My wife's jaw. I don't think she's ever heard. I was like, "What? You don't know No Limit? Come on now!" She's like, "I think I scared her."
Just play ghetto dope one time. Hey, babe, come here. Come, let's automate some crack.
But like, but when I was hanging out with my cousins and my brother in the trailer park, like that's the kind of that's the stuff you find yourself into. You start learning about Master P and Silk the Shocker, maybe a little Insane Clown Posse. That's the shit that gets traded around trailer park.
Yeah, I get it.
They call it trash.
We didn't fuck with No Limit out here. Like
really? I mean, I would imagine so. No, you come from
heavy.
You come from rap royalty. The standards are so high out there.
Well, it was us in New York, so we just didn't respect.
Right, of course.
Like it's like No Limit. Y'all can get that trash.
I mean, I just think
out
of
of
like
here.
What you're right. You think of Biggie and Pac, and like those are so national, legendary.
Snoop before a few days ago.
It's
Warren
kind
G.
It's
Dr. Dre.
It's kind of trashy to drop down to the Shockers level. You're like,
we
kind of like
respect.
Listen,
respect Outkast. We respect Scarface.
Respectfully, he said respectfully.
Goody Mob. We love y'all, but the rest that whole No Limit, y'all.
Look,
hey, who am I? Like we did that with
we
Rebecca.
like Petey Pablo.
We did that with Rebecca. She had no idea. She was like, I'm going to North Carolina.
Petey Pablo, we good.
Yeah,
we good. I love Petey Pablo. Petey Pablo was dope.
Great.
Yeah.
So the Shocker There's not a beat Shaka could not find the beat on.
Trick.
Oh my god, he was the
Trick
worst.
Daddy, yeah.
Oh,
He's like a
Trick
le-
Daddy's
My
cool.
wife loves Trick Daddy. Yeah.
He has a restaurant down here that's fucking awful.
Of course he
It
does.
is god awful.
It's like the thing that all Southern people that do, they make it. They all
Mhm.
open a Shoney's or some shit, and they
Like
sell
that, bro.
fried chicken. It's like what
Like, bro.
everybody does.
Bro, take this shit back.
Ah.
That's right, June Dubs. No Limit was trash out here.
It was.
You
It
can't-
was. But here's the thing: anybody listen to it, especially if you maybe come from those upbringings.
Yes.
There are songs you like, you just don't admit to them. You play them by yourself.
Exactly. Yes.
But those songs
Exactly.
fucking slap. You just don't admit to it.
Y'all
Oh,
say that shit,
June,
but it's,
June, you have no idea. I know the lyrics to 7.5 or so ICP albums, front to back. The Juggalo thing. I mean, come on. Am I going to dress up in clown makeup and go listen to these dudes rap and do fake? Of course I'm going to. That is some white Ohio trash shit. Of
Goddamn
course I
right.
was there. I did that whole scene.
yes.
That's the shit that my wife is like. I think she's truly scared that she, like it comes out publicly that I'm just like, no,
A Juggalo?
I'm just hitting ICP lyrics just walking by.
You
like,
and
"We
Kevin.
can't-" She's like, we can't
and
let
Kevin,
people
boy."
know that you come from this. But 100%. I mean, if you backyard wrestled, you know,
Yeah.
it's in Clown Posse. Yeah,
Of course.
it's a part of it. It's a trash
No.
upbringing.
Just
I love-
just no.
I love half of their songs. I remember my daughter, like one of our songs came on, and my daughter was like, "What the fuck is this?" And I was like, "It's Insane Clown Posse." And she was like, "What do they do?" I was like, "They sing about songs about like murdering people and stuff. They dress up
Yeah.
like clowns." She's like,
And
"What the
whores.
fuck?"
That's what they do.
Wow.
Look, man, I was so happy that Method Man made a song with Limp Bizkit. I'm like, I can finally listen to this shit now.
Oh yeah, you're right. We had so many crossovers
Yeah.
at the turn of the century.
Yeah.
Linkin Park and
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z. Yeah, we had man. That was a
Method
whole
Man
thing. That was a
and
whole thing for
Limp
like
Bizkit
3 or 4 years, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was
think it was
constantly getting
DMX
some sort of thing.
and was it Megadeth?
Mhm. I just know
Think
that was like the mid to like the
I mean,
early,
Korn- I was
early
like,
to
Korn-
mid 2000s.
I think Korn has like 6 to 10 of those songs.
They have a song with Nas. That's
Yeah,
dope.
see, they were always doing shit like that.
Like,
And you know, it's like, look, I don't think history remembers that era of music very fondly, but like we have become so separated, right? We've talked about this before, based on identity politics, and that funnels into music.
yes,
Like that time was actually really cool when you look back at least for that, because it did
Yeah.
seem like everybody was collaborating, everybody was doing it. Like that didn't matter so much, or at least I didn't think it did at the time. Maybe that was the naivety of like a 14-year-old kid, but at the time it kind of felt like everybody was doing stuff together.
That
Yeah.
was my like college, post college era. So like I was me and the white folks, we were all together. It was great.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm thinking.
it's
Like
good
when
time.
I remember, like I was like, if I like I talk about No Limit stuff, we're trading CDs. Hey man, listen to this. Like it wasn't like a your music, my music kind of thing. It was just music. You know,
that's
like
when
I remember
got
watching.
introduced to a lot of that stuff. Lincoln Park, I
Here-
would never found that at that point.
We had a TV station that my wife and I both remember fondly called The Box. Do you guys ever?
Yeah, we had that out here.
you
we had the box
too?
video.
Yeah, the
too.
box played all that shit. It played
Yep.
stuff up and down the spectrum, man. You get Limp Bizkit, The Offspring, rap music, DMX, all that shit. It played everything. We just kind of, I think
Yep.
that's like all of us. We all listened to everything because that was just
Yep.
like a thing.
Like John 32 says, that's back when we thought everything was gonna be okay.
dude, fuck, that hurts.
Yeah.
today.
Like it's the honest to God truth. Like I look so fondly on that era because like
Ice Cream Man.
it was just a good time. It was a good feel.
It was.
MTV, the box, like it was just a really good
It was
feeling.
right
era.
before they flipped to that bubble gum pop. Like it was right before, like I guess Woodstock '99, right? Like right before they went like
Mhm.
Britney Spears NSYNC, the whole thing.
No, I think all of that stuff was there too. 'Cause
They
I
went hard though.
definitely-
Like they went hard that way. They turned on that route. The MTV thing.
I feel like I had it all. Like it was all there. Like it was just all a mesh. All the boy bands and Britney Spears and Christina Ag. Like I feel like all of that is just a jumble mix all together.
Hmm.
Like that's just
Yeah.
that era. I definitely have my NSYNC CDs.
Oh,
That dirty pop
hate
album
that stuff.
goes hard because it's just R&B. It's really
Well,
just
you-
R&B.
that's true, but you listen to some of that stuff. It will pop up on TikTok every now and again. And I'll just look at my wife and I'm like, you used to scream your head off at this lame shit. Like some of the stuff is not bad. I'm not gonna lie to you. Some of the music videos are fucking epic, but some of their songs are really dumb. Like really dumb. Also,
you know what?
I don't know which boy band it is, but I have a recurring joke with my wife. One of the dudes in one of the boy bands looks like a teacher. Like he's like 40. Like everybody else is like 19. And when there's this
they
one,
always had that one old guy.
Yeah, he's super old, and she's like, every time he comes up, I make fun of him. Because here's the thing, in the music videos, because I never watched it at the time, and never paid attention to it. I hated all that stuff, still do. But when I watch it on the TikTok, they always do like super quick camera cuts off this guy, and he's like almost never in full frame by himself.
37.
I know, like, and like so now, like having edited the video and shit, now like I feel like I see through that facade that a younger me never would have. So it pulls up, and I'm just pointing to my wife. I'm like, look, he's in the background. They put a hat on him. He's in the shadow. He's over the dude's shoulder. It's like they never truly show you he's in the band.
Because he isn't.
Like, he looks like their chaperone.
He probably is.
It's like they're on a field trip.
He's there to get the beer. We're too young to buy
Joey Fatone and NSYNC, and there was another one in the Backstreet Boys. Who
I think it's the Backstreet Boys guy, because I know Joey. Joey looked a little older, but not this guy looks old. Like if this guy dated any of the girls that the other guys dated, it might be illegal. Like Chris Hansen.
It was probably AJ. I think AJ was the super old one.
I don't know.
Backstreet Boys. My wife loves the Backstreet Boys.
Yeah.
So.
But it was, dude, he was fucking like, I was like, who is this guy? Let me look it up.
I never got into those boy bands.
I'm sorry, Bruce, but Cash Money sucked too. I can't stand it either.
Cash Money was the shit.
It's
Juvenile.
Of course, it's because that's from your area.
Oh, Juvenile. Yeah.
I can't stand none of them.
Juvie.
That
was my
99.
shit.
Yo.
Did you see the Tiny Desk he did like last year? That shit was amazing.
Yeah, I do recall seeing
it. Was really good.
Dev, it's Kevin.
Kevin?
I knew it was Kevin.
Whoever that is, it's Kevin. Dude looks old as fuck. They're always trying to dress him up like he's younger. It's crazy.
Yes. I knew it was
crazy.
Kevin.
Like, I'm like, how did nobody notice that? Was this not a thing? I was like, he's there for the moms.
Well, he's like the dad. Like older guys, so they didn't care. They're all just old.
Yeah, but if you did that shit today, that'd be a problem. Like Gen Z wouldn't be having that shit.
I was never a fan of like boy bands and stuff like that. I always liked like Britney Spears. I liked a lot for some reason.
I like some.
Yes, she was. What the hell do you think Boys to Men was? It's a fucking boy band.
There are 4 Britney Spears
New Edition. Same shit.
Nah,
that's true. No, you're facts. That's right.
Yeah, you're right. But
there was there was a bunch of them.
I wasn't a fan of the Caucasian
white
boy
bands.
bands.
Yeah, the white boy bands.
Who's are the other '90s kids that did it? There was the big one, New Kids on the Block.
New Kids on the Block, 98 Degrees.
Yeah, that was a whole thing.
Well, 98 Degrees is after the New Kids on the Block, New Edition, Boys to Men. Like that's
there's like
the boys.
There's like 7 or 8 NSYNCs before NSYNC. Like they kept trying to make that happen. Like,
but New Edition was like 85. I want to say no, it might have been before
Spice Girls. You know, like that's actually, the same formula.
If you want to be honest, the original boy fan band was the Jackson 5.
Yeah, that's really what started it.
Yeah.
I actually think if you kept going back, I don't know all my timelines, but I think if you keep going back, I think there's several iterations of that too. They just weren't as popular.
Yeah.
But you keep going back. There's lots of like family bands and kid bands like that all through like the 50s and 60s. Yeah. That's a thing.
Yeah. The Monkeys.
So
the Beatles, even though the Beatles like they was 30 when they were like 18.
Britney Spears has I don't like her 90s pop hits, but she has like a couple like what I would call like dance, like techno, like rave type songs. I love that shit.
Those are good.
It was great.
I love Oops, I Did It Again for some reason.
No,
that shit
that's
slaps.
The worst one, man. Come on.
It slaps.
Toxic slaps.
Toxic slaps too.
Yeah. That's a legit. That shit's legit great.
I'm a Christina Aguilera fan. Fuck Britney.
I like her too. She got the song Rat Man.
Yeah, she had a lot of
dirty.
Songs.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find my Britney Spears.
Girl, you're looking with a hand. That shit used to slap. After you back it up, then stop, then drop it like
Drop it like it's hot.
drop it like it's hot.
100%, man.
Boy, if you ain't been in the club when that shit came on, boy, that was a time.
Okay. It's the Britney Spears song called "I Wanna Go." That's my shit. I love that song.
That's a good one. I've heard that before.
I have no idea what song that is.
Boy,
No clue.
if you're in a club and you hear that cash money for the 99-2000, boy, you know it's time to get on this dance floor because you finna be grabbing on some ass.
That's Atlanta proper. We had people making those videos this weekend in the snow. Atlanta got snow and they just went out and started just twerking on everything.
Oh, I need to go to Atlanta.
I've been fucking trying to tell you this shit for years, man. Like it's different here.
I need to sell this house.
That's all Atlanta does. Anytime Atlanta gets something new, the first thing we do is twerk on it. Whatever it is. Yeah. Snow, Ferris wheel, teams, stadiums, amazing. Whatever is happening, it's going to be twerked on immediately.
Great place to live. Let's go.
Cars. You remember in the protests, like Minneapolis is burning down buildings and shit? We had protests and everybody just jumped on the cops' cars and started twerking. Yeah, like that's all that really goes down.
We had protests too. They just didn't show up. They just like I will never forget this. I was at during the pandemic when the protests were going on, stuff like that. I was going to Target, and I heard on the radio.
We haven't even got started.
No, we haven't. This is the show.
I'm looking at Dev's chat like we haven't even got
because I'm leaving at 8:30 regardless.
All right, well,
I gotta put kids to bed.
Well, we have to just cut you loose.
So I'm pulling up the Target, and on the radio, as I'm hearing on Target, like there's protesting and violence going on at Target, and I'm looking around, ain't nobody fucking out here. I see like a bunch of police cars and 3 protesters, and they made it seem like it was a gang fight going on at Target. Like, man, get the fuck out my way. Let me get this toilet paper and go home.
Man, now Atlanta's so unserious. I do have one 90s music theory that I'm not sure. I'm actually surprised I haven't come across a TikTok of somebody else saying this already. I don't know if it's a popular thing or not, but it's something that I noticed. How is the lead singer from Nickelback getting younger? Has anybody fucking looked into this? Dude is seriously Benjamin Buttoning out here. If you go look at Nickelback's first videos, he looks fucking 45 going on 50. And you look at him today and he looks like he's 28. What is happening?
He got that Arn Anderson in him.
He's got something. I'm how is nobody he had the curls, long hair, and the mustache. He looked legit old.
Yeah.
And
Arn
now
Anderson
he's got
40.
the fucking little spiky hair, new pop. I'm what are you doing?
Yeah. When Arn Anderson was 20, he looked like he was 40.
That's true.
When he was 40, he looked like he was 40. Now he's 60, 70. He looks like he's 40.
40. Yeah. It's the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you a thing about Nickelback. No clue.
Well, it's a love-hate thing.
Yeah.
People hated them for a long time. They're better than that, but I get it.
But they're okay.
They're overplayed.
Not too bad.
I got nothing.
But they got some bangers. That's all that matters. Okay. We ready to do the news?
Sure.
We can talk about Nickelback and other songs.
I mean, we can.
That could just be the show.
I didn't play anything, so I'm playing Donkey Kong. I am playing Donkey Kong, but I haven't played it in a couple of days. So
I only know Nickelback from that Transformers song. that they use on every goddamn
Not the Spider-Man thing. I thought you'd be all into the.
Oh
Spider-Man
yeah, I
thing.
forgot he did that Spider-Man song
with Josie from.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
God, what was the other band? Saliva.
Yes.
Yeah,
I forgot about that song. But yeah, Dev, you know the Transformers song. They always make jokes about it. When somebody gets fucked up in a TikTok video, they always cut it off.
I don't watch TikTok at all.
Well,
TikTok.
If you haven't shared it, and even if you share it, 9 times out of 10, I don't fucking watch it. I don't.
That's a good point.
I don't do TikTok.
You're correct. Well, don't worry. Pretty soon you won't be able to watch it at all.
Good.
Let's see if we can get through this news pretty quickly so Dev can do some questions.
We don't care about this news. Not even a little bit.
PlayStation has canceled live service projects from Bend and Blue Point Games. The Blue Point game was reportedly a live service God of War game, according to Jason Schreier. A Sony spokesperson confirmed the cancellations to Bloomberg, stated that Sony has also added that neither studio will be closed and that they will work with them to, quote, determine what their next projects are going to be. Ben, the community manager, took to Twitter and said, we still plan on making creative, cool shit. Jeff Gerstmann's pushed back. He said it wasn't a live service God of War game. It was a multiplayer God of War game.
Oh,
But that it's still being grouped on the service side of the house for PlayStation. So that might be somewhat misreported. Maybe it's not a live service like a free-to-play game, but it was a multiplayer game. This marks for an interesting little period here for PlayStation, especially internal studios. As folks may remember, back in 2022, PlayStation acquired Bungie and announced that they had 12 live service games that were due out by fiscal year 2025. In 2023, they revised that number from 12 to 6 after canceling Naughty Dog's Factions. Bend and Bluepoint's games were likely part of the 6, along with Concord and the canceled Twisted Metal and Payback games, leaving Bungie's Marathon and whatever Jade Raymond and Haven are working on as the only two left that haven't been reported on. So they went from 12 live service games to maybe 2 in development and 1 that they canceled and 1 that they pulled off shelves. So
don't they still have fair games?
I was wondering, is that Haven's thing, or is that a different one?
That's somebody else. I don't think that's
because I when I looked that up, it was I was bouncing between VGC's reporting, Eurogamers, and Bloomberg's, and nobody mentioned Fair Games, and I was wondering where that was in the mix. I mean, you look at it on paper.
Oh no, Fair Games is Haven. Haven.
I thought maybe that was it, but
yeah.
I didn't do what you just did. I didn't go look to find it. It doesn't seem like a very successful run over here in just a couple of years. I don't want to say a couple of years.
That's an understatement.
People are working, but obviously you had a lot of games in development, and only a couple are making it actually to customers. That's not very good. But they did Helldivers too, right? So that's you can't not mention that too. That was a massive success. So
yeah,
I don't know.
1 out of 12.
You guys are the more PlayStation leaning folks. I mean, how do you guys feel both about the amount of first party resources being dedicated to this, and then some might call it mismanagement. I would say maybe just a bad run of luck. I generally think before I turn it over, I generally would think there's lots of said about live service and how the market is and how it's hard to break through it. I think a lost part of that, an underreported part of that equation, is taking studios that don't make live service games and trying to make them make live service games. I don't think there's a really good track record of that ever. Like that seems to be a really hard thing to pull off. It's like, you're a single player studio and now we want you to make a live service game. Very few people make that successful.
You want to go first? When we go first, Dave?
You can go first.
Here's a novel idea. Make fucking single player games.
Make good video games.
Yes. I am not one time in my life saying, you know what? I want a PlayStation multiplayer game. Get that shit the fuck out of here.
Yeah, but they want that money.
You're the minority.
Yeah, they want that money.
Just remember that.
I know I'm black, but let's get to the point.
So you're a double minority.
I don't know if it's a minority. I don't think that's true.
No. I don't think people go to PlayStation for multiplayer games. Just like that's like,
I mean, the world's most popular multiplayer games are the most popular games on PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
That's real. That's fact.
But when you think of the PlayStation brand, you don't think of like, hey,
not from first party. You're right.
Yeah,
but
you're not
the
like
world's most popular live service games are being played by people on PlayStation.
Take yourself out of your own shoes. You have to think about this from a business standpoint and what they're trying to do. They're looking at growth categories. You're not growing shit in single player video games. You're just not. And that's why they chase these trends, because they're looking for growth. You and I know we don't want that. I don't want that shit at all. I'm not going to play. I wasn't going to play any of those games. As much as I love Destiny, I have zero plans on playing Marathon. It's not for me.
And the problem with that is you could be trying to chase growth, but you're going to have situations like this where none of them just hit. And then you lose a whole bunch of fucking money. Can you imagine how how much money they probably could have made with just making a bunch of single player games, even if all of them wouldn't have hit. A good amount of them probably would have.
If we take them at face value and they don't close these studios, it means several studios may likely bypass the PlayStation 5 altogether without shipping a game. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, that's a real problem.
It happens. Like
Not like this.
I think there's so many of these stories.
Studios, though, that's a lot.
They have, and there's still plenty of games. Like, that's the other thing. Like, the gaming market is so incredibly saturated.
You're right. There are plenty of games, but I do think I hear frequently and often PlayStation fans want first-party games.
Yes, no matter how many first-party games we get,
of those,
PlayStation is going to complain. No matter how many first-party games we ever get, that ever come, it's never enough.
I get what you're trying to do, but come on, man. Like, we've had several years now where I think we're getting one, maybe two first-party games. Like, I don't think anybody thinks that's enough.
That's fucking plenty. With all the other games
for a year,
it's
one a year. 7 to 10 a generation.
There's so many other games that are coming out.
That's one Switch year. That's 1 year.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Nintendo had eaten like gods.
Yeah, but they also don't make games like PlayStation games. Like the games that PlayStation makes take longer and longer and longer to make.
Nintendo ships game.
Yeah, they ship some pretty good ones. I don't know.
They're creating a completely different type of game.
I'm like, trolling with that one, but like it begs to be said. Like if you've canceled 8 or 9 games, like, well, they're shipping them though.
When you look at what PlayStation does and the type of games that they make, those games are taking longer and longer to make. So
the question is, are they making those games? Because it looks like they
are still making them, because there's still a bunch of those games that are coming
but not across. Right, not across all the studios.
So if you look at the studios that are making these games,
making those games.
So Bluepoint, for example, they're not one of the studios that you're looking at for that. They were typically a studio that makes some kind of port.
Yeah,
what do you think Demon's Souls was?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
They remade Demon's Souls. They're like, you know what? Let's try
People
this.
Begging for Bluepoint.
That's also the thing. Like, they're also trying stuff. Like, they're looking at trends. They're looking at where games are going.
Dev to go so like Dev is like
it's because like I'm so sick and tired of this shit. I'm sick and fucking tired of it. Like, there aren't 30,000 games for y'all to play. Like, it just drives me insane.
Bluepoint want to play those
Demon's Souls. But do you not play 30,000 games already, Delvin? You got plenty of games to play. Bluepoint wasn't making a game you were going to play anyway.
It's a wild stance.
Yes,
Dev's stance is like, fuck, this doesn't matter because you've got tons of shit to play. Like, that's wow.
Legitimately
stunned.
Bluepoint wasn't going to play something you were going to make anyway.
Showed up like, you don't need no fucking Uncharted or Spider-Man. Fucking EA, and they have got you covered. Go play your Dragon Age and be happy.
Still getting Spider-Man. Might still get some kind of Uncharted type
You're
thing.
Not lying. Bluepoint, Spider-Man.
Bluepoint wasn't making the game Delvin was going to play in the first place. Because they don't make that game. No, you don't play Demon's Souls. You weren't going to play Bloodborne.
They probably remake some shit I like.
Did you like Days Gone?
Yeah, I actually did like Days Gone.
You wasn't getting a second one of those because that shit didn't do well.
Yeah, I wasn't
did a lot better than half of these games.
Did a lot better. It released.
Either way,
they did Shadow of the Colossus and Gravity.
I like Shadow of the Colossus. Yeah,
and those 2 games I like. Drake collection. So they're not just the Demon's Souls. They've done more. Bluepoint.
Wasn't there rumored to be making was it Silent Hills at one point? It was Silent Hill. It was something else they was rumored to be making.
I just
a while back.
I know every time we say Bluepoint, the thing to go to is Demon's Souls because that's the newest one. But I knew they did other stuff, so I Googled it. And they shipped Shadows of the Colossus remastered. They shipped Gravity Rush remastered. They did an Uncharted the Nathan Drake collection.
They did some stuff.
Yeah.
I like it.
I just feel like
I like it.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff they're making, again, they were looking at trends, they're looking at growth categories. I get it.
I agree with you there, yeah.
I get it.
It's just part of the gaming business. They're trying to evolve and see what's going to hit, what's going to be new.
I think maybe one critique was maybe don't put so many resources into that. You know, maybe be a bit more selective.
Instead of 12, maybe 5. 5 sounds good.
Yeah.
I think they did try to go hard, and I think it was just, none of it was really going to hit, and now they're pivoting.
Yeah.
We still have plenty of single player games coming. We still have stuff that we probably aren't even aware of. So I honestly, for me, it's just like, man, hold on a second.
Okay. Do you want me to keep going?
Yeah, just keep going. Text from the wife.
Okay. So in addition to that news, there have been conflicting reports on the state of NCSoft's Horizon MMO. As you might remember, PlayStation announced a partnership with NCSoft, the Korean studio, on what was rumored to be a Horizon MMO. The Korean outlet MTN reported that NCSoft has ceased development on several project codenames, including the codenames that have been tied to the Horizon MMO since the original announcement. But then a different reporter said, not so fast. On a Korean forum, he said that the canceled projects have nothing to do with Horizon, but NCSoft did have a pretty significant layoff and a restructure. So I haven't yet seen full confirmation. I don't even know if we're going to get it, because I think technically this game, I don't know if it hit full production yet. But if you were thinking that Horizon MMO was coming anytime in like the near roadmap, I don't think there's a whole lot of evidence to support that.
Strangely enough, contrary to what people think, I actually think the Horizon was actually a pretty good idea.
Sure.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Considering how they've hardly been going with Horizon in terms of Horizon 1, Horizon 2, Lego Horizon. They got the Lego set. They got a lot of Horizon stuff out there. So MMO, if Horizon's doing that well, it has to be selling somewhat. I think MMO makes a lot of sense. But
I'm sorry, go ahead.
But I was going to say is, I don't hate them going for these type of things, but it has to make like logical sense. And I don't think some of these things make sense to me. Like a God of War one. Well,
I think if you rotated it around, like if you reserved 3 or 4 studios at a time to try and nail these things while everyone else cranked out like the bread and butter stuff, I think that makes more sense. It's less risk averse, right? This seemed like a very risky play, and now you're looking at it, and it's not. I'm not even so much worried about the projects that are being missed. I look at it and look, I don't have a PlayStation, so I'm not nearly as invested as you guys. But if I did, I would be looking at this situation and I would be like, that's roughly 2, 3, probably 4 years of lost development time that could have been dedicated to something that might have shipped.
Yeah.
Like people say a lot about Days Gone, but if Ben had a Days Gone 2 follow-up, especially Days Gone did find its footing when it went on sale as a budget title. I mean, I think there was something there. Now, I do think reportedly, I don't think Bend wanted to do Days Gone, and I think their leadership left. If I follow all that news, but to pivot so hard from that into going to a live service shooter, I mean, that just seems like I don't know, like that seems like a big thing. Also, look, we can't. I'm not going to go as far as saying that like I don't believe PlayStation, because they said that they're not going to close anybody. So I'm going to take them at their word and say, yeah, you probably not. But I do think it's worth saying, especially as we've seen how Sony has operated their studios in recent years, that they had this money into this live service initiative that they were pumping into these projects. You kind of have to worry, like, I think they give like Bend like a year to pitch a new project, and like then maybe they decide based on what that pitch is.
Yeah.
Like, what if that pitch isn't good, or what if that initial slice doesn't come together? Then what? Like I'd be interested in knowing like how committed is Sony to Bend right now. Because they've just had a lot of. It just seemed troubled, right? They've had a lot of turnover. They've had a lot of starts and stops. Weren't they supposed to be working on like a maybe an Uncharted game, or there was like an internal studio that was going to collaborate with Bend, and it just, I don't know, something just doesn't seem smooth based on the reporting that we've had in the last few years. Whereas the PlayStation 4, PlayStation seemed like a machine at that time. They just had an onslaught of games that just kept coming.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this for many years. A lot of people feel underwhelmed with this generation of console, and I think this is a part of it. And, they're like, where are all the games? By year 5 and 6 of PlayStation 4 and Xbox, we had stacks of first party output. And at this point, I think these consoles, they have a very light selection of exclusives.
I agree.
Okay, I'm back.
Anything you'd like to add before we move on?
um, nah, I think I said what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
I feel like we've got enough games coming. This was a swing and a miss for PlayStation. I think we're okay. I think it like everybody talking about the drought right now, not knowing what's coming. I feel like we were in the same position before a PlayStation. Then we get this like banger after banger after banger after banger. Like their games just take a long time to make. And the studios that were making all of these live service games weren't the main studios that we look to for like the banger games anyway.
True.
So
True.
I think
I
we're
mean,
good.
I don't think the sky is falling. If anybody's taking
No.
it that way, I don't. Right?
No.
You guys have Yote and Wolverine and Intergalactic and whatever Santa Monica's been working on with Corey. Like there's stuff in the pipeline. You're fine.
Intergalactic.
Yep, good stuff. Delvin, Sega has launched an account service that they've dubbed an online profile to give you access to a host of benefits when playing Sega and Atlas games using their online services. So this sounds a lot like Ubisoft Connect.
Absolutely not.
Well, get ready because all of your Yakuza games are about to require it. So better get ready to make your Sega profile.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I don't want to either.
I really don't want to do that.
Game Pass updates coming to Game Pass in January. Lonely Mountain Snow Riders is out now. I saw a screenshot earlier in the Discord. Apparently, its Metacritic is like a 93 or something, so it's being received very well. Sean game, go get that. Gigantic Rampage Edition is out on the 22nd, whatever the hell that is, alongside Starbound, Eternal Strands. Man, I feel like we're just making up games at this point.
Yes.
Orcs Must Die comes out January 28th. The Shady Part of Me is a game that I've played, beat, and loved. Not liked. I don't want to give it too much credit, but I really liked it. Really cool game. Artsy little platformer if you're into that sort of thing. Comes out on the 30th. Citizen Sleeper 2 and Sniper Elite Resistance come out on the 30th. Far Cry New Dawn. It's Game Pass February 4th. It's interesting. I've installed that game of recently, and I've thought of trying to go back to it, maybe playing it again. I think I'm just in the mood for Far Cry and didn't want to play 5 again. I actually haven't done it, but it's been on my mind recently, so I thought it was interesting that it popped up in Game Pass. And then if you're on the standard tier, this tier that doesn't get day one games, you're getting Kunitsugami, Path of the Goddess, Magical Delicacy, Tachia, The Golden Isle, and Flock are all coming out. So please be excited.
No.
Yeah. Team Cherry breaks Silksong silence with a tweet that just says, a reply to a question about the game that says, yes, it's real, it's progressing, and it will release. So non-news, but news.
Yeah.
Insomniac, speaking PlayStation, CEO Ted Price is retiring. And as a replacement, the studio has named 3 new co-studio heads, Ryan Schneider, Chad Desern, and Jen Wang. So I don't know any of those people, but good to Ted. Ted's been a long time. He's a veteran, so good for him for reaching retirement. And Godspeed to Insomniac. Speaking of TikTok was shut down over this past weekend, which surprisingly brought Marvel Snap down with it. As the developer of Marvel Snap Second Dinner said, the ban was every bit of much of a surprise to them as it was to players, obviously because their publisher is ByteDance and they're associated with them. They said that they are now working to bring more services in-house and partner with a new publisher to ensure this never happens again. Yeah. The ban did not last long. TikTok was offline for like 12 hours and it was back. So it was like we turned everything off and it was back up the next morning. So
yeah,
not that big of a deal. Wait till Elon buys it. That'll be the day I turn that shit off. Sonic 4 movie drops March 2027. Delvin, get excited?
I'm excited.
Good.
Great movie. Sonic 3.
Ed Boon took to Twitter and said that, amongst other things, he talked about all the stuff they were doing. He says, we are excited to keep trucking forward with future DLC for Mortal Kombat 1. I put this in here because we had several reports before that development or future DLC may have stopped for it. I still don't take this to mean that there are more expansions coming, but at least like the game is going to continue to receive updates and be.
Yeah, they just got
That's
Conan.
So, Dev, the Nintendo Switch 2 trailer dropped last week. We did a Shack about it, so we've already talked about it. That trailer in its first week has been viewed more than 20 million times. That is more lifetime than the trailers for the PlayStation 5 or the Series X reveals, which have been out for 5 years already. And the Switch eclipsed it in a week.
Yep.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, when you think about how big the Nintendo Switch is, it's just, on the tips of everybody's tongues. Everybody's talking about the Switch. Lots of people have the Switch. Most people's second console is a Switch, if not their first console. So it makes sense.
What do you think of the reveal?
We've been waiting for this thing forever, apparently.
For years.
Yeah, I thought it was cute. I mean, it was a cute trailer. It was, sounded nice. It looked cool. I want to see specs. I don't like. It looks like a Switch.
Guess what? The specs will not be as good as people want it to be.
No,
I don't really
hot
need
take
them to be
the
better
Switch
than
specs
anything.
will disappoint most.
If it's a better Switch, that's all that I think we really need.
Second hot take: people will buy it anyway.
Yeah,
that's correct.
Exactly. Everybody who's like, "Oh, I'll just get a Steam Deck." Well, the Nintendo games don't come there, so
nobody wants nobody. It's not. I want to say nobody. It's just, man, the online gaming community acts like there's 100 million Steam Decks in the wild, and there's like 5.
There's
just
just
like
not
5 million people that have Steam. Like it's such a small group, comparably speaking, to the video. Not even to the Switch, just the video game hardware market.
Yeah, it's a success.
It's
a small.
I think. I honestly, and I'm just trying to like maybe paint this in some picture by comparison. This isn't meant to be a stone thrown at Steam Deck, even though I do that often. I would almost venture to say that I bet like manufacturer accessory makers have sold more Switch accessories than Steam Decks that have been sold. There might be like more satisfied grips for Switch than Steam Decks sold lifetime.
Yeah. Like the Steam Deck is the AEW of handhelds. and that is not a bad thing, but
it's not. The Steam Deck is great.
It's great.
My son has it. He loves it. I use it every now and again. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it.
In every form of fashion, people talk about like it's really huge. A whole bunch of people are there for it, but no, it's really a small audience. Small, dedicated audience that love it.
But the thing about it is, it's so funny because I think it's very much a PC thing, right? The Steam Deck is a PC, right?
Yeah.
When you're a PC gamer, a lot of PC gamers, they value like their dollar per FPS ratio. Like they're looking at how much money do I have to put in to get the most output possible, right? To I think to a lot of PC gamers, not all, but to a lot of PC gamers, that equals value. And when you're arguing with that mindset, those type of people, they can't understand why you would buy a Switch. You're like, they're like, you realize it's not as good, it's not as strong. It's like, that is not the point.
Yeah,
no.
It's not a variable. It's not a variable to be factored in at all.
Doesn't have to be. No, not even a little bit.
Does it
play
Zelda?
Mario?
Does it have Mario?
Pokemon?
Is it Animal
Okay.
Crossing? Does it have the library? Like these are the factors that
this
matter
one
way
has
more
Pikachu.
Than the teraflops
that one doesn't.
or the bandwidth or the FPS counter. Like nobody cares.
Yeah. And those Nintendo first party games are going to run better on the Switch than half the games that run on PC anyway.
Well, even with the devs that optimize games for Switch 2, those games will punch above the Steam Deck equivalent. Because they built the game for the Steam Deck. I mean, for the Switch 2. They'll build the game for it. Yeah. They're going to be like, what if we turn this setting off? How much is that? They're going to optimize the shit out of it because they have one SKU to build for it.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah. So my son is excited. He's like, "Ooh, can we get it?" I'm like, "Oh, whenever it comes out, we'll see."
Might be expensive.
So we'll have 2 Switches? Yeah, I guess we'll have 2 Switches.
Might be expensive.
So
I'm just letting you know.
I mean, for me, whatever the price is, it more than pays for itself in the amount of hours you put into it. So
I'm not
worthwhile.
I've been the crazy one saying make that shit $500. People are like, if it's $500, I'll never buy one. I'm like, great.
That's
so make it $500 so I can get one and not have to fight you all in lines. Like, let's make that shit $500 because I'll happily give them $500 for it.
Yeah, $500 makes sense.
Everybody wants it to be $399, and I think that is the sweet spot. But in the world that we're in,
I don't
in a
think that's
tariff
realistic.
world, it seems greedy to think like I'm not getting my hopes up. I don't want to be let down.
Yeah.
I think you need to, if you're planning, my advice to you would be to have $450 set aside.
Plus tax.
$500. If you want a memory card, $600. Like just set it aside and you'll
Oh
be
yeah,
ready to
memory
go.
cards. I forgot that's still a thing.
It looks
Yeah.
like Nintendo might be going with not a proprietary memory card, but a specific class of micro SD card, which will act like a proprietary card.
Yes.
It looks like it might only use, I don't want to say only but it looks like they're going to prefer people to use the micro SD Express card,
Mm-hmm.
which is the new micro SD card from SanDisk and Samsung, that are they're like 5 times faster than SD cards. They're like faster.
As
They're
long
like
as it's readily available, I don't think it matters.
they're 2 times faster than SATA SSDs. But they're expensive. That's the difference. So you can get like a 1 terabyte SD card right now for like $60-$70 most days. This one's going to cost you like $160. So if you want a terabyte, you could get like
that's more expensive than an M2 drive.
You could get like a 500 for like $80. Oh, that's the thing. I'm waiting for the pushback on price when people realize how much this is going to cost. But that's new. That's new console life. That's what happens. Like that's when you're buying day one. That's what's going to happen.
Delvin's $800, 4 terabyte M.2 drive in his PlayStation.
Yeah, get it, Delvin. Get after it. Yeah, I love it, man. Living life like a damn soldier would. I get it.
Goddamn right.
Make them say,
Not
enough.
I'm telling you, man. There's a trashy side of me that likes to just burst and to come out with you guys one day. Yes. Celeste follow-up Earthblade, which has been announced and shown periodically over the years, has been canceled.
God damn it.
This is like breaking news. This happened right as we went live, so I don't have any more. I just took the headline, but
what a great name.
Sucks. Yeah, Celeste, those developers have been talking about Earthblade for a couple years, and they just canceled the project. Damn.
Couldn't find the fun, probably. Just wasn't coming together.
Jason Schreier reports that Dragon Age the Veilguard and EA, not football, but football club, the soccer game.
FIFA. Just call it FIFA.
Yeah, whatever FIFA is.
Yes.
He said that they sold roughly, specifically Veilguard, Dragon Age sold roughly half of what EA projected it would. And EA has cut its financial forecast by 50% this year. Oof, is correct. I thought Dragon Age was doing great, to be honest with you. I was surprised to see this news because like it reviewed well. People were playing it. All the people that I knew they were interested in playing it, and the people that I knew that were interested in playing it like it. So I was like, oh, it's great. They nailed it. And they still may have nailed it, but it hasn't found customers yet. Now, with EA, you can bring things to Game Pass, you can bring things to Plus, you could do sales. So who knows? Maybe they can find some return. But yeah, Veilguard didn't land out of the gate like they wanted it
to. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, kind of. I was surprised to see the report. In rumors, reminder, Xbox's Direct is tomorrow, where we supposedly will see a legendary Japanese franchise amongst other Xbox games. And leaking out ahead of this came from the website Game Cult, which looks like they may have broken embargo, as Doom: The Dark Ages looks like it's set to launch May 15th, 2020.
Good day.
So I hope that's day one on Switch. I'd like to play it there. Switch 2, that'd be great. A new rating on the ESRB website suggests that Resident Evil 6 is getting some sort of current gen port. Remains to be seen if it's just a release of a native PS5 version, like something you don't have to use back compat for, or if it's like some sort of enhanced version of Resident Evil 6. Maybe they're using some PSSR. Maybe they're doing the pisser. Maybe they've got some new textures. Maybe they've done something to it. I don't expect it's a remake, but it looks like Capcom.
I wish it was a remake.
Doing something with RE6.
Isn't that the one everybody hates?
It is.
Yes.
And I played it on Switch. I never played it when it came out because everybody hated it. And I played it on Switch a couple years ago, and I kind of liked it.
I like 6.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, this isn't nearly as bad as everybody told me it was going to be.
the problem with it is it's a lot more action orientated.
It's just really not a Resident Evil game,
Yeah, it's an action game.
and that's okay.
Yeah.
Like that's not the end of the world to me.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it. I like it. I liked 6 a lot more than I liked 5 for whatever it's worth.
Yeah.
So, and that's it, Dev. So I don't know how much time you have, but if we can get some questions and stuff, maybe.
Oh yeah. So starting with the Rude, it's a Super Bowl prediction time. So he wants to know, who do you got? The Commanders
Sean,
or the
hang on,
Eagles?
sorry. Sean here dropping the leg. It's because Dragon Age is half as good as it should have been.
Well, there you go. Knew that was coming.
Lord have mercy.
Okay, just drop the leg.
Yep.
Sorry.
Jesus Christ, Sean.
So what's our NFL bet?
So he says, who do you got? The Commanders or the Eagles?
Did you see the Philly mayor misspell Eagles?
I didn't see any of that.
That shit was wild. She was like EGELSE. I was like, what the? You're not even close. It's funny. Like, look it up. They had like a pep rally where she misspelled Eagles.
Jeez. That's a shame.
That's the mayor, man. It's like
That's
you're
rough.
the mayor of the city. You should immediately lose your job.
Yeah.
Like your votes
How
were
the
votes.
fuck you misspell
you-
Eagles?
That's real bad, man. I was thinking, I was like, it's got to be a joke. Like, is there an inside joke? I don't know. Like, it can't possibly. But it looked like all the comments and everything. I was like, no, this looks legit. I want to root for chaos. So fuck it. I'm gonna go with the Commanders and the Bills. Just have the Super Bowl nobody fucking wants to.
That is very accurate.
That's funny. I haven't watched a single game all season.
Well, I've watched a couple of Browns games, but I've watched very little NFL football.
I haven't even watched a Niners game all season. I just have not had the time or really the desire. Because I hate the Chiefs and they are the bane of my entire existence when it comes to the NFL. I am rooting for the Bills. And because Dallas Cowboys hate the Eagles so much, I got to root for the Eagles. Yeah.
Okay. The Eagles says
The Ego my Legos? Lego my
says,
Eagles?
whatever she said.
I'm gonna go the Chiefs and the Commanders.
Well, there you have it. We'll see what happens next week. All right, question time. We can get through a couple of these before I got to go. Free to Play Joe says, what games are you most excited to play this year?
Oh.
It's a tough call because I don't even know what's actually going to come out this year.
Ass Creed.
Yeah.
Oh, it's always
the
a good
one.
one.
Shadows.
Getting,
Yeah.
I think previews are dropping for that like on Monday.
Tomorrow, I think.
Tomorrow, maybe?
The 23rd. Yeah, I believe the 23rd or 24th.
That'll be fun to
I think that's when
out.
some of the previews go.
South of Midnight.
I was gonna say South of Midnight is probably the game that I'm most excited to play that actually should come out this year. The rest of the games that I'm excited for, I have no idea if they're actually gonna come out this year at all. And that's Ghost of Yotei, Marvel 1943, Rise of Hydra, Replaced, maybe Phantom Blade Zero, but I don't know if any of those games are actually coming out. So to be determined.
I am excited to play Dying Light the Beast, Fable, Mafia, Metal Gear.
I forgot Mafia.
I want to play the Tell Your Boob game. After making fun of this game for years with Garrett, like I'm buying the shit out of this one that's dropping in March. I'm all in. Yeah, PGA, of course.
Interesting what WWE K25 looks like.
Sean says, yeah, definitely Doom. WWE, for sure.
Well, it's 26.
I haven't liked the last couple, 3. I think the last 3 I haven't liked.
Ah.
So.
There you go. Whew. B-Mox says the Browns winning the Super Bowl or D-Life getting his play games on every device utopia in the next 5 years.
You know what?
It's a funny debate earlier.
Yeah.
He's like, it's gonna happen, Donnie. I'm like, well, yeah, the Browns could win too, but like, I don't think you'd bet. I don't think you'd, based on history, I don't think you'd bet on it. Like, it's possible, but I don't think it's likely.
Just because screw Daniel and his shenanigans and this cloud nonsense.
Dude,
I'm going with the Browns to win the Super Bowl, baby. Let's
At
go.
this point, it feels personal. Every day I wake up to a new D-Life phone cloud game thing.
Yes.
It's like every day.
And I, for one, am sick of it.
Right.
So am I. Daniel, stop it.
Yes. So you know what? Fuck D-Life. Go Browns.
Go Browns.
We're rooting for the Browns here.
Brownies. Here we go.
Yes.
Hey, they could draft Shador and they'd be on their way.
You wanted to get me to root for the Browns. This is how.
This is how.
This is how. Put them against D-Life.
You weren't summoned. I posted that Resident Evil sold. It sucked. It sold like trash on phones. That wasn't summoning. I didn't tag you.
Yeah.
I just posted the news.
Look,
Resident Evil sold like shit on
post anything
phone.
about mobile phone, anything about mobile, you know he is there.
You.
Yeah.
He just feels summoned. If it's
like,
mobile games, if it's cloud based, Daniel will know.
Nobody wanted to buy Resident Evil on their phone.
Who the fuck would pay $60 for Resident Evil on their fucking phone?
That's the part. That's actually the more shocking part of the news. The news was something like, I don't even remember now because it's so long. It was earlier this morning. They sold it's like less than 10,000 copies of the game. Yeah. Dude, the game was $10 for like a month before they raised the price.
Look here, bro.
They couldn't sell units with the game at $10.
For $10.
For $10.
Look here, bro.
That's the problem. Nobody wants to buy games on phones. It's not the phone can't do it. It's not a cloud. It's not a technology problem to solve. It's a get the customer to buy this media problem. Do they want to pay for it?
No.
Yeah, they don't. They don't want to pay for the games they currently have. That's the problem with mobile, is that all of those billions of people have been conditioned to think you don't have to pay for games. Everything is free.
Yeah.
Not buying that bullshit. We don't want it.
We don't want it. Keep
I'm
it.
here to tell you, we don't care.
Cal the Pug.
Fuck you, Cal the Pug.
I didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Landed on me.
He wants to know, Donnie, how'd you celebrate the national championship win?
Yeah, go Buckeyes. Not well. I've been working ever since. We had a snowstorm came through that night. I've been I don't know if I mentioned this to you last time, but we had a snowstorm a week and a half ago. And on that snowstorm, we did shifts. First time I've ever done shifts. But the folks that we put on the night shift at that time, they didn't like it. They kind of hated it. And that was their big feedback to the team, was they didn't want to do night shifts. And me being the night owl I was like, I'll do night shifts. That's not a problem. So they put me on night shift. So I was at work that day at like 1, and then I just worked all through overnight. And then came home and went to sleep and then worked all night. I'm actually up now, and I've been up since 12. I've been up since 10 o'clock yesterday, 10 p.m. yesterday. Actually, 9 p.m. yesterday. But the reason I'm staying up now is because the shifts ended today. We go back to normal ops tomorrow, so I wanted to stay up so I could get my schedule back. And I could go back to sleep, because if I slept today, I would stay up all night again. So I'm tired. I'm not sure if you can tell. I think you probably can. Yeah. I'm very, very tired, but I'm going maybe, it's 11. Yeah, I'm going on 24 hours. Longer than that, actually. Just straight up. So, but I was excited to see, obviously, I was excited to see the Buckeyes win. I was excited to get that game done through my city. I love that in the heart of the SEC, in the first expanded playoff, we had 2 teams from Indiana and Ohio State playing to represent the whole thing. Those fucking Southerners were pissed. Like, this sucks.
That's hilarious.
But I'm very, very, very proud of the kids and very proud of the coach. You know, I talked about it with you guys. I told you where he was, and it was 100% true. And this definitely gives him some much needed, deserved breathing room. And I think he'll have, if he wants to, I think he'll have a nice stay here for at least a couple years, unless he goes out there and gets trounced by Michigan, and then it'll all start all over.
It'll
again.
all fall
It'll
down.
all come over again.
Ridiculous. All right. Captain Awesome. He says, I'm going to be finishing my residency, and it looks like I will get immediately hired in the same place. But
Congratulations.
my co-residents started being a couple of asshats. They've never liked me, but knowing that I'll get hired has really made them go even further. What do you guys do in this case?
What do you mean go? What does go even further mean?
Like they're asshats. They're actually being.
But now
even
they're
worse.
just more asshats.
Yeah.
Ass helmets.
Ass helmets, yes. Ass helmetry, yeah.
I don't know if I've ever been in this situation. So
I also don't think that I can. I mean, I guess if I had. I'm trying to think. Every time I've gotten promoted, nobody's actually become an asshat because I got promoted. Because typically, they're with me, and I kind of bring the team up. So I haven't really had anybody act like that. The one person that could have done that, as soon as he found out I was going to be a supervisor, he put in his 2 weeks. So,
Okay, Captain Awesome. Just make a pipe bomb, blow up the car.
Whoa.
That's its lesson. It's fine.
You went straight to terrorism.
Yeah,
That's not terrorism. Just
It's
a car.
terrorism. That is exactly what that is.
I mean, the reality is that they're your co-residents and they're not actually like, friends or anybody that you have to associate with outside of work. Just keep it strictly business and keep it pushing. Fuck them.
You know what you
I mean,
do?
that's probably good advice. I don't know
Which
how
one?
the residency
blow up the
and
car
stuff
thing?
works, or even what place he works is. What I would tell you, Captain Awesome, is I very much value like my sanity and my quality of life. And if I went to work thinking somewhere I wasn't appreciated or welcomed, I'd leave. Like that's just it. I have no idea if you have that option, if that luxury. But like if I didn't feel comfortable where I was, I would leave for that reason alone. Like honestly, before I even factored in compensation or anything, I would leave for that reason. I'm not gonna.
When you're parking your car, you see him, just hit him one ticket time. Hit him and keep going.
Throw a brick through their window.
There you go. That works. That works.
Oh, you don't like me, huh? Let me give you a real reason to not like me. Here's a brick through your window.
You know what you do? Just go buy some Coke, sprinkle a little Coke on their seats, and tell the boss.
Call the cops.
Call the cops. That's all.
Yeah, no paperwork. Just sprinkle a little crack on here and let's get out of here.
Yeah.
I think my coworker has a problem.
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
I think it's affecting their work-life balance.
Yeah. Look.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Winter Gaber says, today marks 3 years of being a dad. What do you love doing with your kids now? And what do you miss doing with your kids? For me, I miss when I could just hold Mia while playing video games. But I love how much she wants to exclude me. I think he means include me with her playing and building.
Aw. I love getting rid of them. Get out my face. Go do something else. Go live your life.
At least you didn't mean abortions.
No, not that part.
Late term abortions. He means late term. They're already here. We're going to terminate the pregnancy at 17.
That is called murder.
I love getting rid of them.
Yes. That is called murder. Can't do that. Well, maybe I can. I don't know. This just a little different.
I mean, you putting car bombs in people's cars, so I'm sure you probably could find a way.
Look here. All I gotta say is make America great again, and I get a full pardon.
You went full.
Just on a MAGA hat.
Yeah.
If I throw a MAGA hat, then I'm good. Right?
Say I did it for America. Get a full pardon. That's all.
Don't even gotta say you did it for America. You just say MAGA. Like I've got this hat. I'm one of you. I couldn't have possibly doing anything illegal.
Yeah, political prisoner.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is politics. We're good. Yeah. MAGA hat. Safe.
Yeah. See? Good.
I mean,
I think My favorite thing to do with my kids now is my favorite thing is when I get to read to them or they get to read to me. We just get to share. We all have this love of reading and books. So when I go put my son to bed, he's going to read to me one of his books. When I put my daughter to bed, she's going to read to me one of her book series that we're currently in. I think we're on book 9 of 13. So that's definitely my favorite thing to do with them is just to shared reading and like some of the TV shows that we watch that we all have this collective interest in is really cool.
I tell my 17-year-old daughter and my 19-year-old son to read to me. Read that a book. See how that goes. See how that
my
goes.
Books,
You know what? I put you to bed. Now it's your turn. Come read me a bedtime story.
Yeah. You don't get your old ass out of the
I
house.
could see Delvin. Didn't they teach you how to read? Fuck, what's fucking up the story?
Yeah, come take this Invincible book and read it to me. It's a good idea.
You should do it.
I miss playing video games with my kids. My daughter doesn't play video games anymore. She plays Stardew Valley on her iPad, but that's it.
That's a video game.
Jack plays video games, but we don't play video games together. He's got his own games. He's really much, he's doing his own thing.
Live service games, yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, he's not really. He's doing a lot.
He's
of
when the PlayStation was trying to reach.
He's been doing a lot of walking sim games, and like he just finished Red Dead Redemption 2, and he's done Cyberpunk. Like he's very much into like very story rich, single player type stuff right now.
That's my man right there. That's what's up.
I like it. I like it.
He did Ghost on Steam Deck. See what do I like doing with my kids now? That's really tough because we don't really hang out now. Like we definitely like hang around and we'll pal around, but we don't hang out like we used to. I think the thing that me and my family do really good together is like hate. Like if we're in the car or something, we just kind of like make fun of shit or people or things, and like we all kind of like dog pile on top of it, which is pretty funny.
I like that a lot.
A lot of times it's like some weird, strange shit some family member said on Facebook that my wife brings up, and then we all just take turns dunking on whatever that person is. Like we're like the free birds of hating. Like we just tag each other. It's like a triple tag. Just you go, and then we go, and then you go. So it's pretty funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
they got that talk shit gene.
Nice. I'm trying to think. What do I miss? I miss just them being babies, like the silliness of them.
Toddlers.
Yeah, I miss them being toddlers so much.
That's
like it's such a fun time.
It really is. It's the best time. They're such cuddle bugs. They're so much fun to play. They love like you're like the biggest thing in the world to them. Like they look at you. They look at dad with like such awe. You know, and like that goes away so quickly, and it's just such a great time. It's a great time to be a dad. You know, maybe not as great a time to be a mom, but it's a great time to be a dad. Maybe the best time to be a dad.
Yep.
God, I miss that so much.
It's the best. It is. You know, Sean's having a kid, and it's like I think about that all the time. Now his kids are still like in the range, right? Like he's got a couple older kids, but they're not like old. My kids are about to leave. You know, like my kids are almost done. You know, they're about to pop out of the toaster here. Man, I don't know if I could go back at this point. I think it's too far gone. Like I can't just roll the tape back and try to do it all over again.
Yeah, you can.
So, like, but I wouldn't kill to relive that 3, 4, 5-year-old range.
Yeah, same. I love that time period. Everything is new.
Everything's so magical. You can like build forts and shit and do stories, and like it's so good. I'm just introducing the kids to games and seeing their eyes light up and their imagination go places. It's what I wouldn't like when my kids are that age, I would literally do anything to like instill that sense of wonder or make them happy, like fucking move mountains. Like what do we got to do? You
know. Good times. All right, well, this is where I leave because it's a wrestling question, so y'all can take this.
You can answer this final question.
Answer this question.
It's an easy one.
No, I can't.
Not even at 2 minutes. We're not even 2 hours. You said 2 hours.
8:30. It's 8:27. I gotta go put kids to bed.
This is an easy
God.
question.
So it says, "What's the best wrestling faction of all time?" And if you had to construct a new one for today, what would it look like? I have
Answer your first-
absolutely no idea.
Answer the first part.
I can answer my favorite wrestling faction, and that's DX. It's
Of course.
that's my favorite one.
Yeah.
They were awesome. I enjoyed their shenanigans. I really couldn't tell you much about any of the other wrestling factions that have ever existed outside
Well,
of maybe NWO.
You
I was gonna say there's two that everybody talks about. There's DX and NWO, and then there's
I disagree.
the main ones.
You're way off.
I mean,
Nope.
Heart Foundation, wasn't that
Nope.
like a?
That's a good
that
one,
wasn't a
but you're
faction?
still way off.
The
amount
Horsemen, of course.
Of course, the amount of disrespect by not mentioning the horse.
But I don't think people
the
like talk
Horsemen?
about. See, that's what I was talking about.
That's Dev. That Dev is not people.
I think-
People know the fuck the Four Horsemen are. Come
I
on.
think people probably know
I
more
have
Ric
no idea
Flair.
who that is.
Dude, the Four Horsemen. Come on, get out of here with that. That's
I
crazy.
have absolutely no idea who they are.
They are the faction.
They're
Nation
the
of
original
Domination.
faction.
Yeah, they're the faction. They're what
They are
made
the original
factions-
faction.
They made factions.
Oh, I had no idea.
They're it.
The first faction I ever knew was the Heart Foundation. That was the only one that was the first one that I ever heard of.
The
But
Four
I've never
Man's
heard of
Horsemen.
Never heard of the Four Horsemen.
I'm gonna
It's
pull this
today
up.
years old.
Lifelong members of the Four Horsemen include the originals: Ric Flair, Ole Anderson, Arn Anderson, and Tully Blanchard. The
I've
group
never
also,
heard of two of those names.
The group
See?
also credits over their lifetime members of Barry Windham, Sting,
Never heard of them.
Sid Vicious, Brian Pillman, Chris Benoit, Kurt Hennig, Dean Malenko, and Jeff Jarrett.
That list went down from here.
Yeah.
After you named the original four, like and Sting,
I've never even
Sting
heard
was a
of
Four
half those
Horsemen.
people.
Sting and Sid Vicious, Benoit, and
Sting-
Malenko.
Sting was
I've
kind
heard
of a
I've
Four
heard of
Horseman.
some of those.
Sting was a Four Horseman for like a week. Then they
I'm not
betrayed him.
arguing that they're my favorite or best.
Yeah.
I mean, Dev, if you gotta go, you gotta go, man.
Yeah, I'm out. I don't know who half these names are.
Me and Delvin
So,
are about to unpack.
Y'all enjoy
Yeah.
this
We are.
quick rendition of Strong Style.
Okay,
It's
let me
been
ask
real.
this question. This
So
Peace.
the answer is: we're saying best? Are we saying best? So Dev is going to say DX based on vibes. Like Dev is just
Yes.
who's the coolest. So are we going off? Who are we going off? Cool? Are we going off kayfabe? Or are we going off favorite? Because I think the
Ugh.
answers to every one of those are different.
yes, I think
I think kayfabe wise, the best faction in wrestling is the Shield.
I was going to say the Bloodline. If to be honest,
The Shield's better than the Bloodline
I don't think so.
in kayfabe.
Kayfabe,
I mean, think about it. All three members of the Shield have been the man and carried the company with the belt at multiple times.
that's true.
What
But I
other
think
faction can say that?
But I think the Bloodline is they've only need to carry it once because their champions had the belt for like 4 years.
Right, but it's one guy.
Yeah, he's
Whereas the Shield is literally all three of them have been that
and
guy.
that guy was part of the Shield, and he's ended up creating probably the greatest faction in history.
You're still making my point though.
I get what you're saying, but I think
I think in
So,
kayfabe, if we're counting if we're counting wins and belts, I mean, the Shield's really tough to beat. It
I
really
agree.
is.
I agree. But my thing is, I don't know, because see, the Bloodline is still going on.
True.
That's crazy.
It's not over.
It's not over.
Now, see, the point, like to make your point, if I was to make your point, I would say the Shield have been the A story for like 5 years.
yes.
They're the main story, but that doesn't, it's the sum of their parts. They're like super top heavy, like the SEC. You've got
Yes.
Alabama, and then everybody else is trying to like get some of Alabama's credit. It's like, well,
Okay.
y'all got to go have accomplishments too.
Yes.
Whereas the Shield, everybody is a multi-time world heavyweight champion.
Yes.
That's wild. Like that's crazy.
That is wild. But you
And
can
not
say this.
only not every one of them, fucking dude left and went and started a whole new other company, and he became their guy.
They're multi-time champion.
Yeah,
So
like,
if you go
that's-
based on accolades,
If we're
It's the
going off
Shield.
kayfabe, I think it's hard to like the other one I would think of kayfabe wise. I would make an argument for DX. It's hard not to.
DX is a
Kayfabe,
good
you've got
one.
Triple H, Shawn Michaels, both carried the
Yeah,
company,
well-
multi-time world champion, and maybe the most accomplished tag team of all time.
Well, then if that's the case, then you probably have to go NWO as well.
And women's champion.
Yeah.
Like DX is pretty fucking stacked.
Yeah, but NWO, Hogan, Nash, Hall. They want to get technical. Sting. That alone's a lot of chance. Macho Man. That's an insane
do have-
lineup.
if you're gonna do NWO, you either do original NWO or you have to split them. But NWO doesn't get credit for both red and white. You got to pick one. So you can't go Sting. You're either going original NWO or you have to specifically say the Wolfpack.
Cause that's weird though, because they're I'm trying to see, because their original NWO had the Wolfpack in it, minus Sting.
I say, or maybe you disagree. If you disagree with me, then I'll allow it. But
I don't know, because I'm trying to.
I don't feel like people would say the NWO encompasses all. I don't think
'Cause
people think all of that is NWO.
Because the problem is the Wolfpack. The only difference between NWO regular and Wolfpack is just they added Sting, essentially.
Oh, they split. No, they split.
They split. They split up. But when they split up, the Wolfpack, which was Hall and Nash, they added Sting on, who wasn't
No,
who wasn't part.
Hall was NWO Black.
Oh yeah, he did
Because
stay
they
black.
split. It was Nash,
Let me look at
Luger, Sting, Conan.
Yeah, I can't go Wolfpack.
I'm missing somebody else.
That lineup's kind of with besides Nash and
it's not Wolfpack.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, it's NWO Black and White.
Yeah,
which Hogan, Hall, Nash. Then you have
Steiner
and
Buff.
Fuck that.
But Steiner. It's
Yeah.
Nash, Steiner, Conan, Sting, and Luger. That's Wolfpack.
Yeah,
When I think
Luger was-
NWO standard, like NWO Black and White, it's Hogan, Hall, and Nash.
Yes.
Macho.
The
Giant.
6. The Giant. Yes.
That's pretty good.
That's really good.
Like that is the core group. And I mean, if you want to, I mean, I would Bish. You got to count him.
All right. Let me ask the question then. Where do you put Bullet Club in this equation?
I mean, you're not going to like my answer.
Because Bullet Club has a lasting legacy.
On the indies.
No, main roster too. If you look,
not for most people.
But I don't think they're mainstream. But look, AJ Styles, Cody Rhodes,
sure,
like they're guys who main eventers in WWE. Finn Balor, Kenny Omega, they got a crazy lineup.
Yeah, but they weren't all together at the same time. Like
they
that,
were.
You're talking about the history of the Bullet Club.
But it's still the same Bullet Club. They just,
but it's not.
As the group changed, it's the same Bullet Club. They just changed.
They're not all on a team. That's not it. That's not a.
Not it. But it's a faction. They're just not on a team at the same time. They just the faction changes.
They kick people in and out of it. You have to pick like one group. That's the faction.
But that's the same thing as the NWO almost.
I mean, I was going to say you can't. I was going to say you can't like take a faction over time, but that's exactly what I did with the Horsemen. So yeah, I guess
it's kind of the same thing.
It is kind of the same as the Horsemen.
Let me look at it let me look at it. I'll be fair with it.
I'm trying to look at which is. I'm looking at of former members. It's 36 people. I mean, come on, we can't. That's not a faction. That's a company.
Yeah. What I'm doing is I'm looking at I'm trying to look at the best version of the Bullet Club right now.
This is crazy. I have a list of 36 wrestlers as credited as Bullet Club. Like that's insane. You can't.
Yeah, well, to be fair, NWO is kind of close to that. It is. But NWO is ridiculous. I want to say, shoot. Let's just say the Elite. That Elite era with Cody.
Okay. Yeah. Who is that?
Which is
Let me give me all of them.
The Young Bucks, Cody, Kenny Omega.
I just don't know who the Japanese guys are.
It was Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa.
And this is after Balor left, right? This is Finn leaves. So this is the group after him. And Gallows and Anderson?
Yes.
Or did they leave too?
I think they were still there.
I think they were still there too.
And I want to say Jay White was there too.
I think you're right.
Let me look at this. I'm looking up.
That is like the most indie of factions. again, but like it's I don't know. I don't know. I think if you're an AEW fan, you're like the Bullet Club is the greatest thing ever. If
I don't think they're
you're
the greatest. I think with the exception of the Bloodline, they're the best modern faction.
I'll take Evolution over the Bullet Club.
No, I wouldn't take Evolution. I like Evolution a lot.
Evolution was wild.
How long did Evolution last?
And I love Evolution. I mean, it's a great story. It's a great complementing pairing. Triple H, Ric Flair, Randy Orton. It's like three of the best that have ever done it.
How long was their run? It doesn't feel like their run was that long. Oh no, Batista's dope.
You know, he's a Hall of Famer.
He's like, underrated in my opinion.
Yeah, he's a pretty crazy. They had tag belts. They had gold. They had all the gold at one point. Everybody had gold.
Yeah. How long was their run?
I don't know.
That's what I'm wondering.
It was a hot storyline, almost like the resurrection of Ric Flair.
Yeah.
And they really brought him back.
So I guess we got to pick a team, a faction, of which one's the best out of these.
Yeah, and best would just be personal opinion, not based on kayfabe. Just which one do we think is the best? The original run of Evolution was 2002 to 2005, and they had a reunion run in 2007.
Okay, that's a pretty good run.
Yeah, 5 to 7 years. That's longer than most factions.
My favorite is NWO.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I love NWO.
I agree with you. They were the hottest story at the time, so I'm definitely not going to I'm not going to take your arm away from you
because they're so different.
I generally think the NWO as a storyline, as a group, I think it's mostly overrated.
Yeah,
I agree. It's almost like the reality TV of the moment. Like they benefited from just being like Springer.
The problem with NWO is their main event matches fucking sucked.
Generally, their matches sucked. Like they generally weren't very good. Like that's the thing. They weren't very good.
They had the style. They had the grace, though. They had like the presentation was awesome. Like Kevin Nash throwing fucking Rey Mysterio through the wall through the building was like fucking crazy.
You're right. You're not wrong, but it's not in the ring.
Yeah, I agree.
They couldn't go. They were great at again, it's backstage moments, it's promos, it's beat up people.
Yes.
No, it's not. They weren't very good. Like at that time, I very much remember and I know you know this, but if our listeners don't, if you go back and watch like some weekly WCW TV, the folks that carried NWO week to week were like Buff Bagwell and Macho Man. Those were the folks actually getting in the ring and putting on matches.
Yes.
You know, everybody else was kind of just jumping in, interference, beating up people, stomping on people. If you watch it back now, week to week, it's kind of boring.
The first year of NWO was super fun.
The only thing you're right. The NWO, the whole breaking the fourth wall thing, that novelty shot them off.
Yes.
The only thing that kept it going wasn't what the NWO was doing. It's how Sting reacted to it. That's what kept that story going. Without Sting, I think that whole thing falls apart.
I also agree.
So it's like, how much credit do you give the faction? I give a lot of the factions credit to Sting.
I give it to both. I give it to both. I think the coolness.
I think Sting is what captured people's attention.
Yeah, I think the cool thing I think to have a good faction, you have to have a good somebody to go against it. And Sting was one of the best to go against that faction. He was cool as fuck. Sting was like awesome. DX, I like DX, but much like the NWO stuff, I don't think DX stuff holds up. Their stick, their in-ring work does. It's the opposite.
Yeah, their in-ring work is incredible. I think their comedy at times is still good. Some of it doesn't hold up as well, but some of it is still good.
Cheesy as shit.
Oh, it was super cheesy. They're super cheesy. Like that's authentic. Shawn Michaels is cheesy as fuck. He always has been cheesy. I do like the game Triple H more than DX Triple H.
I do too. Way more.
I like way more intensity. Who was hang on. Because I'm thinking of two that I don't think I would pick, but there's enough people that like I at least want to give them some credit before we sign off here.
Main Event Mafia.
That's a good one. I didn't think about that. No, but I was going to tell you
They were good.
The Corporation.
Corporation's good. That's a really good one.
Vince and Stephanie, the Big Boss Man and The Rock, Ken Shamrock, Test, Kane, and The Big Show.
That's a good one. That's a
It's
really
pretty
good
good,
one.
man.
Really
The
good
other one that I was thinking of, which I haven't looked up, what about The Ministry?
That's a good one too.
That was a pretty crazy stable, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Something
We
really
had
good.
The Undertaker, Paul Bearer, Bradshaw and Farouk, Viscera, and Edge, Christian, and Gangrel. That's fucking wild.
That's a really good one. That's a really good one.
That's just a really good group of wrestlers. Who's the best though? Who's the best faction? I'm trying to take the question somewhat seriously.
Yeah.
The Nation.
Nation's great.
Undisputed Era.
Undisputed Era is really good.
Lists. Man, I dare maybe say the New Day, but they just don't have the top end credit.
I think
they're a
up
great
there.
stable, but they don't have the highest accolades.
I think the New Day
it's gonna be really hard to talk me off the Shield.
Yeah, I think the Shield's a good choice.
I think what they did as a group, like what they did while they were together. Like I earlier I talked about what they did after they broke up. What they did while they were there was inject new blood into a company and start a brand new era of WWE. You remember, these are NXT call-ups. These are like legit rookies. It's not Hogan jumping ship from one brand to the other. It's not Hall and Nash. It's none of that. These were homegrown in the system from the bottom up. And not only did they exceed what was going on and go to the top of the card, they had great runs with, the Wyatts, which I am somewhat biased on. Their entrance is iconic.
Shit, how do we forget the Wyatts?
The Wyatts just don't have the accolades. I love the Wyatts as characters. The character work is top notch. It's stellar.
I think the Wyatts are up there though. The Wyatts in terms of character work are up there. They're one of the greatest factions of all time. They're cool factor.
When you say one of, do you mean like one of the top 5? Because I'm thinking like they're like one of the top 25. I don't think they're in the top 10.
I think they make the top 10.
I don't.
I think they probably make the top 10. Bray Wyatt, how many? He's won the championship, what, twice?
The Wyatts are not. The Wyatts are not like the Hart Foundation.
How many times did Bray Wyatt win the world championship? Was it twice? I want to say.
It's a good question. I think it's 2 times.
2 times. Didn't they win some multiple tag team championships?
Yeah, they carried those a few times. And it depends, like, do you count the time where they had Orton in it or not? Like, do you count him as a part of it?
That's a good question.
I don't think most people would.
I wouldn't count Orton because in that case I would have to count Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Brody King. Brody Lee, I meant. Brody Lee was.
Brody Lee.
Yeah, he left the Wyatts and won a championship in AEW. He's arguably one of the best TNT champions. His run was great.
Yeah, the Sierra, Foxtrot, Charlie, Echo, like the Shield shit.
It's great.
True, and then their heel turn, just like the NWO, one of the most iconic heel turns of all time.
Yeah, and separately, the Shield has done some amazing things. They've given you some amazing moments in wrestling history. Seth Rollins.
Did the Shield get started? I know I need to look this up because it's funny. I didn't want to say the Shield. I actually, when this question came in earlier, I was prepared to defend DX. And now that I'm thinking of the Shield, I actually feel like I can make a pretty compelling case that this is them.
2012.
Their call-up was in 2012. So think
Survivor Series.
Let me put this in a different light. 3 rookies from NXT get called up in 2012. They have essentially mainlined every WrestleMania and major pay-per-view basically since.
Yes.
And it's 2025.
Yes.
For 13 years, the legacy of The Shield continues.
Yes.
That's fucking nuts.
So much.
The Shield has lasted longer than like WCW.
Yes. So much that one of the guys left, went to another company, and is continuing the legacy.
Company.
Yeah, he's continuing the legacy over there.
Yeah. And he runs that company. He's their main attraction.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That is insane.
They have iconic moments. They have iconic matches. They've done the New Day. They've done the Wyatts. They've done Kane and the Undertaker. They had this iconic heel turn that
Cena.
Everybody recognizes. Cena.
Yeah.
Yep. Everybody. Brock. Everybody recognizes that Seth chair shot.
Yeah.
And you're talking about the bloodline. That was the cherry on top to the defining bloodline story moment was still a Shield reference.
Yes.
That's what set the whole thing apart. And every one of those members individually have not just won the main title and carried the company. They've won like every mid-card title along the way. They've all held tag team gold. Like, it's really hard. You're talking about these are all 3 bona fide, like, as soon as they want to, Hall of Famers now.
And the crazy thing about it is there is no weak link on that team.
No.
Like, not a one. Like, Moxley's a multiple-time world champion in 2 companies. Roman Reigns is a multiple-time world champion. Seth is a multiple-time world champion. Could win more championships. Seth Rollins is so good. Seth Rollins is a franchise player. Like,
yeah, I remember when Chase was in the Discord, he used to always give me shit because I remember I kept telling him, I've thought, I know you know this because this is a long style, strong style thing. I think Seth Rollins is one of the more underappreciated wrestlers in the business and has been for some time.
Seth Rollins also thinks that.
I think Seth Rollins is one of the best wrestlers in the world.
I agree.
And I've thought that since probably like 2016.
I agree.
And all I've really ever wanted was a Seth Rollins Kenny Omega match.
Yeah.
like I just want those 2 to go and burn the fucking house down. Like burn it down because they could.
Did you hear his interview?
Opportunity. Seth can tear the fucking house up, man.
Did you hear his interview with Chris Van? I think it's Chris Van Vliet he did an interview with recently.
Mm-mm.
It's really good.
Who's Chris Van Vliet?
He's had a famous interview. He interviews a lot of wrestlers. He's a very good podcast. But he talks about how he was very upset about the Cody thing. Because he was like, yo, I'm here busting my ass. And he said he gets it because Cody earned it, but like, I'm here busting my ass. And this guy comes from another company and this is the guy now. I'm like,
he's a 5-tool player. He does everything. Yeah. In the ring, off the ring, on the microphone, in style, iconic look. Like, he does it all. He's really great. Does it all. He's no weakness.
Yeah. He makes everybody look good.
He's gotten some of the dumbest shit over. You remember when he was doing that faction with Authors of Pain until they got hurt?
Yes, I do.
That shit was getting like really good until they got hurt. Like, it kind of doesn't matter what, like, he dresses like a fool and still pulls it off half the damn time. Like,
he's great.
He really is. He really is. And I do think now he's lost maybe a step from where he was 4 or 5 years ago. Like that 2018, 2020 Seth Rollins was special.
Yeah.
Iron Man Seth Rollins, like going 90 minutes Seth Rollins, like he could really put it on like the best of them, like Sting, Ric Flair type stuff he was doing, which I think Kenny Omega is, I'm not saying he's better or worse than anybody else. Kenny Omega is right there with him.
I agree.
That's why I've always wanted to see them go at it. Like I've always wanted that match. That's a dream match for me.
I agree.
And then, I mean, fuck you. What is there anything to say about Roman?
Roman's
the franchise,
arguably top 5 wrestler in history.
Yeah, and probably climbing.
Yeah, I have already made in my head that that top 5 wrestler list that people make might be time to get Hogan the fuck up off of it.
Well, you're not going to hear any complaints about me, but
Yeah,
it's I'll tell you, it's a conflicting thing because while I hate him to the very core, and we've talked about this before, and I'm not going to turn this into a I hate Hulk Hogan thing.
yeah,
I do respect his accomplishments in the business.
I do too.
For those, if people are like, yeah, he's on the Rushmore, I get it. It just depends on how you value things. Do you value popularity and putting butts in seats? You do value ring work and carrying a storyline and charisma? Because to me, he woefully lacks at that compared to others.
I think as time goes on, because he's getting older. Not only he's getting older, but wrestling is like advanced. Wrestling has surpassed him. Now people don't talk about Hogan like they used to. Like this generation's got Stone Cold. Stone Cold is that Hogan.
I would hope that people today that watch today's wrestling, when they go back to watch a Hogan match, like if they actually watch Hogan's matches, they're probably bored out of their minds.
Yeah. This generation's
his work rate just sucks. It always he is not a quarter of the wrestler Ric Flair is.
This generation's Hogan is Stone Cold.
Yeah.
People talk about Stone Cold like people used to talk about Hogan.
That's true.
That's their guy.
He is that guy.
He's the guy.
Yeah, I mean that's been my thing. Even his Rock match, which is maybe his most iconic moment. Maybe, I mean, it's that and Andre.
Yeah,
his Rock match is a couple grapples, some punches, a couple legs, and like there's not a lot to it.
It's smoke and mirrors.
It's very. He's always been very almost protected in the ring. You know, like he's not a guy that's going to go out there and tear it down. He never has been. Now, to his credit, he would tell you, I didn't have to. Yeah. I got over and I did all that. I think I've always thought that the Hulk Hogan character, right? So remove his failures as a man. The Hulk Hogan character, I think, is a creation out of marketing.
Yeah, it definitely.
And I think that hype was marketing and kayfabe. He was kayfabe to be a superhero. He didn't earn it. Like his ring work is not superhero. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat would rock and run circles around him. I honestly, seriously don't think Hulk Hogan can lace Ric Flair's boots.
No.
Like it's a joke. You go watch Ric Flair a couple weeks ago. I was watching I think it was like SummerSlam, like 93 or something. And it was a mid-card match, not even like the top match, not even the start of that mid-card match. Bret Hart, Ric Flair.
Whoa. It's a good match.
Fucking clinic compared to anything Hogan has ever done. And here's the thing, dude. They didn't do much. 12 minutes. In and out. They do the thing. It's how they sell. It's the pace. It's how they land punches. Yep. It's how they set up moves. Dude, Hogan just lumbered around, did a couple punches, throw into the rope, get the leg, get the boot. You know, there's not a lot of story there. His NWO run is severely overrated. Hollywood Hulk Hogan and the wrestler in the ring was awful.
Not good.
It was terrible. It's some of the worst wrestling matches. Like all those main events suck. All of them suck. They're all bad.
Yeah, it is. I've said it before. The best match he had as Hollywood Hogan is the Goldberg one.
And that was a squash.
It's honestly the Goldberg one.
Squash match.
Yeah.
I don't know that's true. I'd have to think about that.
I think the Luger one is pretty good too.
That's what I was thinking. The Luger.
The Luger one is pretty good.
There's a really good one with Paul too, the Giant. There's a good one there too.
Yeah, it's not. That wasn't too bad. But the Goldberg one is the one that sticks out.
Like trying to be his son, but the one where I think Paul wins it. I think it's a Nitro match. I think that was like a match. It was like a good match.
Yeah.
But Hogan's WCW stuff is so sloppy, and it's crazy because how amazing, like the wrestling talent on that roster was. Mysterio and Malenko and Benoit and DDP,
Jericho,
Innings, Jericho. Like they had some dudes that could really tear it up and hold a show.
Yeah.
You know, Eddie and at the top, not letting anybody do anything ever the whole time. It's fucking Hulk Hogan sitting there with that's crazy, man.
He fucked up a lot of things. That's a whole other story for another day.
And that's I feel like it's one of those things that like I got real early. And it's one of those things I've tried to enlighten everybody that I've ever talked to wrestling about it ever since. It's like you have to see what I see. Like, dude, he sucks. I remember I was like 8 and I was like bored to tears. I was like, this is boring. Wrestle. Like what he did to Sting was criminal.
Yeah.
They had a build, they had everything. It was Sting's coronation. They had the time to go out there and do business and make millions and really set it off. And no, it doesn't work for me, brother. And they went out there and they fucked around with the stupid strap and went, and it was lame. It was awful.
It was
Honestly,
terrible.
maybe one of the most disappointing wrestling main events for a pay-per-view of all time.
I agree. It's awful.
But people are like, he's the GOAT. It's crazy.
And he
Absolutely
sabotaged it.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the Shield, they've never had any of those moments. Even when Roman was being pushed down our throats and the people were rejecting him, dude was still putting on excellent matches.
I agree.
His matches with Taker were great. His matches with Brock, I think, in time are going to be remembered for how great they were.
They're great.
People didn't appreciate him at the time, but his Brock trilogy is fucking. It might be the best business Brock has ever done.
Yes.
and that's saying a lot. But it's really good.
It just felt like he was fighting Brock every other week. That's
Sure.
the problem. It just felt like goddamn Brock Lesnar again. Like
God,
every time you look.
Fun. It was so fun. I'll never forget his fucking country ass lifting that damn ring up with that fucking tractor. That shit was awesome. That's like, this is great. That's like some legit stone cold shit from the Attitude Era.
That was great.
It was so good. That was my favorite Brock. And him the Money in the Bank Brock with the boombox and shit.
That was great too.
And it's legit. He could sell it. Like Brock could get in there because fucking Roman could lay it in stiff. The two fucking big mini men slapping meat. I like that. He had a great match with like Logan Paul. Roman's got he's got a bunch of them.
Got a bunch of great matches.
Cody, of course. Yeah, I mean he's got them all. I really hope we get. I wanted Rock Roman. We're
gonna get it.
I mean, I keep hearing. I will give you credit on the podcast and YouTube channels I follow. Everybody's talking Cody Cena.
Yeah,
I still think it's too easy, but I mean, everybody I listen to are like Cena's winning that Rumble. So I mean, you might have been right.
Yeah.
It still feels that doesn't seem like a Triple H move to me.
I think that's the move that makes the most sense.
It's so linear, though. It's so direct and easy.
But the thing is, Cena's it's probably, I think it'll be Cena's last Mania.
And he's going to lose?
So, yeah. Well, he still has a year to go.
Yeah, you're right.
He still has a year to go. So he's his last Mania, big marquee name, Cena versus Cody Rhodes. If you can't get The Rock, Cena versus Cody Rhodes is pretty up there.
It is, but I wonder about that. I wonder about those promos, that build. It's face.
Oh, they're gonna be talking mad shit to each other.
It's gonna be.
I already see that. I think it's gonna be excellent. I think when think about John Cena, he has this thing where he starts talking shit to you.
Oh, Cena's one of the greatest ever on the microphone.
Yes, and he's definitely going to do that to Cody, and it's gonna be miraculous.
Yeah, he is incredible on the.
Because I want to see how Cody responds to that.
I would imagine not very well.
Yeah.
See, I don't know.
I hope
you're right. It's a money event and stuff. I'm just, for whatever reason, personally, I'm just not too excited. Like, I'd rather be Orton. I don't know why. Like, I want something more nostalgic. I'd rather be Punk.
I think Orton's going to be going against KO at Mania.
That's a long time from now. I figured they'd get that out of the way sooner than then. But
I think so, Mania.
It's like I feel like,
or
I'd rather be Gunther
based off of Raw. It might be fucking what is his name? Sami Zayn against Kevin Owens.
Dude, Kevin Owens Cena sounds great.
That does sound great.
That's I'm just I feel like I could.
That's gonna happen though. I think that's gonna happen.
Come up with 8 matches that I would rather have than Cody Cena at Mania.
I don't think they're gonna do Kevin Owens against Cena at Mania.
I want like what's Cody's like direction and his motivation now? If this bloodline thing is kind of on the back burner or not really happening.
To beat Cena, to beat the greatest ever. Because that's what WWE markets him as.
But all roads lead back to Roman. So then, like, what's Roman doing?
Roman's going to be facing CM Punk.
Yeah.
He's definitely fighting CM Punk in Mania. And it might be for the belt.
Yeah, you might be right.
I think it might be for the belt.
Do you think Cena gets it off?
I
Cena
think
get it off Gunther.
That's a good question.
Like, does Roman get the belt back against Punk, or does Punk use his favor to get a title shot against Roman? Because
I think that's what might happen.
I see what you're saying, but then how do you get Roman to Gunther?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
If
That's
Roman's going to enter the title picture, it naturally makes sense for him to do it with Cody.
I would think so.
So how do you switch those gears?
I don't think he's going to face Cody.
For Roman to be like, I want this other belt.
See, that's the thing.
That doesn't make sense.
Somebody has to, maybe
be the first time WWE's done some shit that doesn't make sense, but that doesn't really make sense.
Maybe Punk beats Gunther for that belt.
Now Roman, it makes sense.
Then Roman goes after Punk because he fucking hates Punk.
Or yeah. I mean, even then, that's kind of messy because Punk's the one that's got the favor to call in.
Yeah.
So what's the favor? Does Heyman turn on Roman?
The favor could be him getting a title shot.
Right, but if he already has the belt from Gunther, he doesn't need the favor to get the title shot. So that's the problem.
Yeah, I think the favor is him getting the title shot from Gunther.
Okay, and Heyman has that switch.
Like let's
he's not the GM.
Yeah, let's say what I'm thinking is Cena's gonna win the Rumble. If Cena wins the Rumble,
God, that's so boring.
It is, but that's what's gonna happen.
I still don't like. I think the story is that he gets tossed over.
That'll be an interesting story too.
That becomes the story. It's who tosses him, and then that sets up the next match. Like there's something there.
Because the way I look at it, I think there's two paths to Mania, if I remember correctly. It's the Rumble in the Elimination Chamber, if I remember correctly.
Elimination Chamber, Money in the Bank.
Oh yeah, Money in the Bank too.
Yep.
So there's
Elimination Chamber is usually for the title. They could put Gunther in the Elimination Chamber and get the belt off of him via that.
There you go.
And that protects Gunther somewhat.
Yes.
You put him in there and you get the belt off of him. You get it to Punk or you get it to Cena or somebody else, and then you set up new storylines. But like, they got to protect Gunther at some. Like, they can't just farm him out just because Cena's here. So yeah, I think you'd want to keep Gunther somewhat strong.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's the point you made earlier about Seth Rollins is really true. WWE's top of the card is fucking packed.
Yeah,
it is fucking packed right now.
And I think people be thinking I'm being like facetious when I say this, but like all these guys from AEW want to go over. I'm like, what the fuck are you gonna fit at?
Not at the top right now.
Yeah,
but
you're gonna.
Who's coming over that thinks they would go to the top? I don't think any top guys are coming over right now. You know, like Mox isn't walking through the door.
Yeah. Ricky Starks probably.
Ricky Starks probably starts in NXT.
That's what I was thinking. I think a lot of these people
a main roster guy right now.
And it's the thing. A lot of these people are coming over there thinking they're gonna be getting.
Oh no.
They might be taking pay cuts to go to WWE.
Yeah, you're not a Ricky Starks is an NXT guy.
I've been saying a lot of these people might be getting pay cuts to go to WWE.
But I would argue that I think it'd be better for them. I think it's more exposure.
I agree.
It'd be better.
I agree.
Creative.
Better opportunity, but at the same time,
there's upward mobility. It's something AEW hasn't had a lot of upward mobility.
I agree. I think the biggest thing with WWE, in my opinion, is WWE has a roster that's so stacked, and not only that the main roster is stacked, NXT is fucking stacked.
I mean,
then you look at like the mid card, like AJ Styles is on the mid card. Brian Breaker's
see that? Oh man, you said the name.
Braun Breaker.
I wanted Braun Breaker Cena.
He's on the mid card.
I think Braun Breaker is a perfect person for Cena to make.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
Cena elevate Braun Breaker on his way out like that. That's beautiful. That's perfect.
Yeah, they have so many people that are set up for like to go up to that main card. It's like, damn, where will you fit in at here?
Yeah, they're crushing it.
They're crushing it.
It's very reminiscent of like the Attitude Era. Like WCW got this big pop. They were the new trendy thing, and then WWE got going.
Yeah.
And then like it seemed like once they took off, it's like this other company just can't do anything to stop
Yeah,
this momentum.
'cause
There's too many good talents with good storylines. It's just
good storylines that they can build
far
around,
more compelling.
and it's far more competitive to get to that point.
Yeah, that's one of my minor gripes with AEW is it seems like we've had the same kind of core group at the top of the divisions for like 5 years.
Yeah,
Like if you roll, it's crazy to think, but it's true. If you go back and watch AEW 2020, the title picture looks a lot like it does. It looks the same, like
yeah,
minus one or two people here and there.
yeah,
It's generally the same acts,
yeah.
and that's kind of when I keep talking about like it. Beyond, there are legit issues with their backstage and with their storytelling, but even beyond that, it just kind of feels
They
tired.
gotta freshen it up.
They do. Like
they
the
gotta freshen it up.
stage is the same, the talent's the same. They're in the same positions. They're in the same division. They're doing the same thing.
Somebody said it not too long
It's
ago.
a
I
little
heard it,
tired.
and I think it agrees. Like their mid card wrestlers should be their main event wrestlers now.
Correct.
And it's not because the main
And
event
at least
it's
mixing it
looking,
up there.
yeah, it's looking a little WCW-ish, where you see where Kenny Omega is opening on Dynamite, and then you have Moxley fighting this guy on the main event, but then all of a sudden, it's not that Moxley's bad, it's just, okay, good match. Then all of a sudden you have the whole T jump the guy, and it's like, okay, this is looking a little bit NWO-ish. Just smash finish that we don't want.
Yeah, it's very much a bad NWO storyline.
Yeah, like we can't keep having that same thing over and over
When
again.
they got going, they had new, fresh characters. They had Orange, they had Darby, and they were like, "This is going to be the future." MJF, and like, I can't say like they've had blips. I'm not saying it's all been a train wreck, but
Yeah, they've had some blips.
you can't say it's been an overly successful, endeavor in terms of elevating that talent.
I will say,
it seems like they want to grab the latest name from WWE and insert them at the top.
I think once Swerve lost the title is when the problem really developed. I know they want to give Daniel Bryan
I don't watch it every week, so I can't say, but I generally think it's just been a little too samey for a few years.
Yeah, it has been a few years. It's been like it feels like that.
Their production looks exactly the same, and it blows my mind.
They've changed things, but it's like not enough.
Get a new set, get a new entrance,
get new
packaging, get new colors. Like you gotta liven it up a little.
Yeah, they don't know how to they don't know how to mic the crowd for shit. They mic the crowd terribly.
And sometimes in wrestling, you need change for change's sake. It's just
better
interesting
lighting
to turn it on and see something you haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Like they're kind of just it's almost like a house show. They just keep doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But
I think the Samoa Joe run with the belt was good. I think the Swerve run with the belt was good. I think Bryan's belt run was okay. Wasn't good. It was like, oh, this is fine. But then once that Bryan and Moxley stuff happened, it just got like bad.
McIntyre Cena.
Yeah.
Drew Cena.
That's good.
That's really good. That's good mic stuff right there.
You have, and let's go back to my point with WWE. You have at least 10 people who could be the world champion right fucking now.
At least.
At least 10.
I think that's on the low end.
Yes. That's why I'm like, where could you fit someone here?
I think
like
that number is maybe more like 20. And 20 might be like when you get to like 18, 19, like they may be long shots, but like can Braun Breaker not spear Gunther and get that belt? Like that can totally work.
People don't forget how hot LA Knight was at one point.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can elevate these people up pretty quickly if you give them a real good run and let them go.
Yeah. There's a lot of people there.
The right creative and the right storyline, you could elevate a lot of people into that spot if you wanted.
Jey Uso.
Yeah. He's right there. He's knocking on the door.
Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens.
Always. Those are always stalwarts. They're always there.
Too many people. When you have that many people at the top of the card, that's big. And the thing about WWE is they're using them well.
Who's the NXT people? The guy they just brought up.
That they just brought up?
Yeah.
You're talking about Carmelo Hayes?
Yeah. Yep. Like that's a way out there, but like Yeah, I mean, he's got it.
He's
He can
good.
totally do it.
Yeah, Carmelo Hayes. It's a lot of people, man.
A lot of even former champions.
Yeah,
You know,
that you
Braun's
just
still
have
there.
there.
Chad Gable's still there. Why couldn't Chad
Yeah.
Chad could hold the belt? He could totally be a transitional champion.
You have Wade, like that card. That card is just stacked at the top.
Priest.
Mysterio
could be a cowardly champ. He could pick it up in some weird stipulation, you know,
Yeah,
run around with the belt for a week or two like Jericho used to do. Finn Balor could always be
yeah.
in that mix. You know, like they do have.
They're stocked.
They really are. They really are. And it's crazy. You've got acts like Karrion Kross, who's like basically a bottom of the card guy.
Yeah, Karrion Kross, former TNA champion. He's at the bottom of the card.
Bottom of the card guy. Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Main event guy. U.S. title. Like he could be entered into any world title match and be considered a legit challenger.
Yes.
Crazy. Orton.
But they've earned it.
That's
crazy thing. WWE has so many people injured right now. You won't even fucking notice it.
Sheamus?
Because Sheamus, yeah.
Dude, Sheamus Cena. We should get that.
That'd be good too.
Sheamus might hurt him though.
He probably will.
Can't be breaking the golden boy. I would say Shinsuke, but I don't think Shinsuke will ever touch that top level.
Not again. At least.
No, it seems like they've got a pretty set ceiling on what they think Shinsuke can do, or what he's capable of.
Yeah.
That sucks. I've missed Shinsuke.
I like Nakamura a lot.
His NXT work was very strong. And it does seem like ever since he's made it to the main page, the main roster, his style has been somewhat dampened.
Yeah.
You know?
It has been.
I mean, we didn't even mention AJ.
AJ Styles?
He's hurt, right? He hurt his leg.
Yeah.
He needed surgery.
I think so. But he legit hurt his leg.
Yeah. Anytime AJ wants to walk into the company, he's a main event person.
Yeah.
Like he literally could walk in off the street and be like, I want to challenge you, Gunther, for the belt, and it's legitimate. Because he's AJ fucking Styles.
He did that with Cody.
Yeah, he's the phenomenal one. He's AJ fucking Styles.
Yeah.
God, he had great matches with Roman.
He did. He's great.
Yeah. All right, this is too long. This is way too long. We talked about wrestling for way too long.
Yeah.
Enjoy your strong style and a half.
Yes. Enjoy it.
Go to bed. I'm tired.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys for listening. Guess we're out.
Deuces.